me a second, I'll fix it. There we go. Gotta keep them separated. Hey, hey! Fire with the rope! Fire with the rope! Any fans of Incubus? Who's that?
That's the
Offspring. Yeah, Offspring.
Hold on. The Black Mysteries sarcophagus was opened and now people want to drink its bone juice. I just read the headline on the Verge. That is so gross.
That's just nasty.
So, were we going to, really quick while we're getting all set up, were we going to bring the dog with us throughout the dungeon and strap the treasure chest to it?
Well, we divided it up, so I don't know that we need to anymore. Strap the chest to him.
Because there's still about, I only took like 100 copper pieces. There's still a bunch of copper in that treasure chest, but I doubt we want to just haul around a bunch of copper.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Bye.
He's just gonna be our extra member now.
Okay. We've got a cat and a dog in the party. Is that going to be an issue?
I have no idea.
Mastiffs are...
The dog is very intelligent, so if he has an issue, I'm sure he'll stay away.
Well, wait till I get my giant rat mount when I hit level 5 with a paladin. Then we'll have a show on our hands.
Going into battle. Alright.
I thought you were just going cleric.
I'm debating. I'm so debating because I want to get level 5. I think the mounts are so cool, like being able to just summon a steed. But I can't just justify it and get everything that I want for cleric too. So it's an ongoing debate that I don't have to worry about yet. That's future Corey's problem.
Future Corey, you can take care of it. It will be not a problem at all. All right. So I think we have everyone. I haven't heard anything from our dwarf in some time. So I assume that he's still doing his thing. All right, so
and that's the other problem is I don't know if Dora's not joining us, we need a tank, and I can't be a cleric and a paladin tank. I need to have a defined role before I can decide where I need to go. You know?
Right. Which a couple levels ago, you did like a paladin's oath or something. Which oath did you do?
I took oath of awesomeness. No,
Oath of Awesomeness.
Devotion. The one that gives it's the same one you got, where I got protection from it.
Gotcha. I did the oath of redemption. It was a newer one.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. Different thing that. Protections from combat style. No, I took oath of devotion.
Gotcha. Yeah, my oath has some pretty cool spells. That's one of the things I like about going paladin more. It's because you got more oath spells in level 5.
Yeah.
Right. Let me set this thing so it will speak when I speak, and then we're ready to rock. Alright, voice activity is activated. Please let me know if there's any background noise, such as an air conditioner. And and I will adjust as need be. So, welcome everybody. I hope everyone's having a fantastic week. Let's get started, shall we?
If you must blink, do it now. Pay careful attention to everything you see and hear, no matter how unusual it may seem. And please be warned, if you fidget, if you look away, if you forget any part of what I tell you, even for an instant, then our band of heroes will surely perish. Is everyone sitting comfortably? Please attend
Not
carefully
anymore.
as we begin.
So, anyways, as you guys remember last time, as you guys were fighting through in the Wave Echo Cave, you guys had happened upon a small, what seemed to be grove of mushrooms, all of which had an iridescent glow, as fungus that had been growing in this particular region of the cave that seemingly benign had quickly turned into a potentially very dangerous situation. After some quick thinking between Roland, Clandon, Aurora, Finfina, each of you, devising a plan to try and make your way through these fungus spores as quickly and expeditiously as possible, you're able to overcome this threat and be able to move further into the Wave Echo Cave. You get the sense that this particular piece of the cave had not been disturbed in quite some time, and so you know that you're either discovering something new or finding that the black spider has not yet infiltrated this part of the dungeon. Upon coming into this new clearing, you found what seemed to be melting rock, doors that were fused together by the heat of some kind of blast to this room, some very cryptic runes and other things. And after taking some time to commune with Gond, Roland was able to identify a source of great evil in this part of the dungeon, and upon doing so, you broke into this wizard's essentially dormitorium for what you believe to be the human wizards that were part of the Fandelver Pact. And at this point, you found a specter, a soul that had been so engrossed in magic that it was bound to this place, and that it had been twisted and over the years poisoned its mind, that once possibly was a good and helpful wizard that may have done many great things. You quickly were able to depose of him, Roland nearly again coming in with inches of his life. You as a team were able to overcome this challenge and were able to get a little loot in the room in the process. You also came upon a tome that had been magically protected, whereas a lot of the other books in the room were sent to ash and cinders. You found mention of a place called Chult in this book on a map, and some other different things that you had some trouble deciphering, that you get the sense that some kind of arcane masking is going on this book to hide certain secrets that that obviously they did not want to become common knowledge. So upon having a nice night's rest and being able to have a very somewhat restful night's sleep and a new Fluffy joining the pact, I believe is what you called him, amount, you each are able to have a long rest and are awakening at this point. You're not sure what time of day it is. It is very dark in this room.
Oh, the torch went out. Everybody else can see, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like daylight.
To be magically enhanced with eyesight.
Yes. Fluffy is in there. He's by the door.
All right. Well, how many torches do we have collectively between all of us?
I've got one. I have 0.
Roland, you do see, like, the particular room that you are in, you don't necessarily see light, but you see glinting of almost looks like starlight above you, with all those gems and mine stones in that particular room. Seeing that you're kind of standing guard at the door as you peer out, that's pretty much what you're able to see at this point. Look up the stats for what? The Mastiff? You could do it on Roll20.
Mastiff should be in the back of the player's handbook, actually. I believe it's in the back of the handbook.
Yeah, either look in the player's handbook or in the creature manual. One of the two. Just look up Mastiff. It should just be in the beasts.
So they're glinting overhead, even though there's no light source right now?
No, there's no light source, and you're still, every 2 minutes, you're feeling that rhythmic... this pulse washes over through the cave.
Is that when they shimmer? When the gems shimmer?
Not particularly. There is a kind of a arcanic vibration to them, but as you remember, when you did do a didn't you do a spell last time? Like detect magic. Can't remember if you did detect magic or if it was just detect good and evil.
I just did detect good and evil.
Okay. So you do again. There's nothing malicious about it, but you do notice that that this rhythmic pulsing doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the shimmering, but it is. You do feel this presence, this effervescent feeling of just magic permeating everything.
Okay. And so, looking up at these gemstones, is there any way that I could pry one out and see what makes it shine, and maybe work on making it shine brighter?
Perhaps you would have to climb up. It's a good 30 feet in the air in this particular cavern. So it opens up and it's like a kind of dome, but if you did want to attempt to climb up one of the walls and perhaps get one...
Okay, can I just hand you a torch?
How many do you have, Clandon?
I've got like 8 left.
8 left? You have 8 torches? Okay, never mind. We're fine. We're good. I don't have to climb up on somebody's shoulders.
Here you go. I hand him a torch from my bag.
Thank you.
There you go.
I will pay you back for these. I promise. I did not think about torches. I don't know why. I must be that young of an adventurer. Okay, so in total we have a total of 9 torches between the party. It's times like these that I wish I would have taken the light cantrip.
Right.
I literally took like 3 cantrips that I thought would be cool, and then every single time I've been regretting not taking light.
So, where to? Should we set out?
I say, do we want to keep exploring this cave deeper?
We took a long rest, right?
Yes.
Yes, you guys were able to take a long rest without incident. I rolled for it, and you guys are safe. Unfortunately.
I'm gonna light the torch, by the way.
Unfortunately.
You know how many times I rolled last time for a random encounter? Every time. It all failed. So.
Go us.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna step out into the brisk morning cave weather, do a nice stretch.
I don't really know if it's morning, but okay.
Perfect. So you get out. Again, you see kind of the same thing. As you recall, there were the corpses of just skeletons strewn about this hall. Again, everywhere in this cave seems to have been at some point a very intense battle that went on. So you see all these corpses, some in better shape than others. You see the glinting upon the ceiling of the rocks. For you, since you do have dark vision, you do see within about 30 feet. Everything you see has been black and white. You're not able to see color unless the torch is near you, I guess.
I didn't know that.
Yep. So,
okay. So I'll step out too, and I'll point down the way that we were starting off before we got sidetracked by the room, and I say, should we continue on that way?
Yeah. Did we explore to the left? Is there anything around that column?
is there any on the left? You have not explored that, no. But as you're coming in the room, you do see that there is just kind of what seems to be a kind of a donut-shaped room.
So it's just a cavern.
Yeah, it seems, as far as you can tell, it joins with the other one.
All right, I'm just gonna go make a circuit around it.
Okay.
Make sure that there's nothing in there.
Make a dexterity. No, I was kidding. No, you're fine. So you walk through. You hear the like dripping of water off stalagmites. The occasional kind of chittering of perhaps bats in the distance, but you don't see anything aside from just the cavern you guys are standing in.
It just circles around. Good.
All right, should we go forward? Does anybody sense anything? Any evil? Should we do another? Maybe you should do another check since we got rid of that rave.
I can do one, or if you want to use your divine sense.
Yeah, I can use one. That's fine.
posting that real quick. All right. Go ahead.
It's done.
Mountain name is Makalo. Makalo, you ugly.
What's it mean?
Makalu is what I was thinking. It was. Anyway, it is the 5th highest mountain range in the world.
In some far-off fantasy world that none of us have ever heard of.
Exactly.
Yes. Somewhere far, far away from here. Okay, so Steve, going forward, you see before you an outcropping of steps that have been carved into this stone. Old, somewhat slippery, but very definitive that these were carved in. And you see at the base of this embankment, essentially, that goes down into further deeper into the cave. The ceiling gets higher by about 40 feet at this point, and then the floor itself, you see very smooth, well carved stone.
That's some nice stone there.
You see again, nothing in the immediate vicinity. The occasional skeletal remains of people who had come before, but nothing seems to catch your eye right now.
I'm just gonna go ahead and proceed then.
Just up the stairs?
Down the stairs.
Wait, are those down?
Yes, those are down. So you're
I'm sorry, it's so dark in here, I can't tell.
You see those doors up ahead, Roland? There's a room.
I squint. Kinda?
Get you closer.
So you,
I
hear
like take one, like I just go like 5 feet forward and hold the torch out. Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
you hear another wave, and as it booms, you start to see at this point there are small dwarven and elvish and other kind of runes that line the top of this particular building, and they pulse just gently with that pulse, emanating just a very faint blue-green glow.
I think I'm starting to understand the name of this cave.
Cave.
Didn't
echoes.
catch that actually. That's good. So, should we go check out this building then?
Let's do it.
Okay, Clandon, could you check for traps, please?
I approach a little closer
Okay.
to the door and examine the area for traps, including the door.
All
Wait,
right.
there's a little side tunnel down here too.
So as you approach,
Thanks.
this is what you see. A large workshop that is badly damaged by the ancient spell battle that laid waste to this mine. Work tables up 2 corners of the room are scorched. The plaster has been burned off all masonry walls. The middle of the room, a stone pedestal, holds a small brazier in which an eerie green flame dances and crackles. The
Green flame.
brazier, whatever. I'm gonna say brazier because I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. And its pedestal appear to have been untouched by the forces that destroyed this area. Behind the brazier of the green flame floats a spherical creature measuring roughly 4 feet in diameter. 4 eye stalks protrude from its central mass. 2 on each side. In the center of the body is a large eye that stares at you.
Where is that at? Where am I seeing that?
You're gonna see it in just a second. I'm doing this. I'm trying to click and do dynamic lighting and
So
read and do all at the same time.
Oh, the doors are open?
The doors are open.
Oh, man, it's what's his name from Ghostbusters.
Beholder?
He, as you turn around, you hear each of you.
Yes, from Ghostbusters.
Each of you, as Clandon comes around the corner, his eye tracking you, particularly Clandon, you hear echoing in the recesses of your mind.
Hello.
Hi!
Clandon, what is it? And I'll walk forward.
It's Slimer.
What do you do in cave? Why are you here?
We came to find you.
So he pulls forward and floats slowly, kind of inquisitively.
What
I want to
do
roll
you
his check.
mean, find me?
Go ahead and roll.
Can I roll a perception check from where I am?
You would hear it in your head, and perception. What are you trying to perceive?
Just see what's in here and see if there's anything I need to be on the lookout for.
Besides the giant floating eyeball.
So out in this room, go ahead and roll perception for a history check. You vaguely remember boogie stories about mages and them using creatures for their own devices, but you don't really know anything specific about this creature. Perception. You notice again as that rhythmic wave comes. You're not, when it's hitting, you're seeing that this pulse of magic also seems to resonate within this building. You can't necessarily see the brazier from where you're standing, but you get the sense because of the glow and the shadows that are being cast up against this rear wall from this green flame, that there's some kind of a source of power in this room. Was there another check someone was asking if they could do?
Aurora did a perception check to see behind us.
Okay. And behind you... Were you also looking behind you, Aurora?
Yes.
Okay, so behind you, you're not seeing anything as you're descending down the stairs. Nothing is moving, nothing, just your typical... The room itself is as dead as when you found it. The spectators kind of, you see his tongue lolling about, and he's...
He asked why we were looking for him, right?
Yes.
We are a band of adventurers, always looking for new companions. Would you care to join us?
Adventurers. You're here to steal.
No. Adventure.
I'm here to protect. Protect.
And at this point, you're going to... everybody roll me initiative.
No!
Not persuasive enough.
I do not have my weapons out.
I'll let you do a roll for persuasion, Clandon, but with disadvantage, please.
Gotta prevent that nat 20. Get 2 20s.
Come on!
Nope. Sorry. Does not succeed. He does not believe... He's not... he's very suspicious of you at this point, as far as you can tell. Alright, so I need to roll the initiative for him.
Man, this is some bad initiative rolls.
Yeah.
Hey, I did good for once.
Okay, so at this point, the spectator is floating in this room in the air. Tiger Lily, what is she doing?
Freaking out. She's looking back and forth between me. Me and the Spectre.
The spectator?
I'm gonna have her
By the
hold
way-
her action until she is attacked. Is
Okay.
her...
By the way, this is what you guys are seeing.
Ah.
Like the beholder with less eyeballs.
Yeah, it's like a baby beholder.
Not the droids.
Let's kill it.
Get the eye! Let me get the eye of the beholder!
Someone... Hey, have you been reading the name of this broadcast? Justice is in
Oh,
the
is that
eye of the
really?
beholder.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Clues upon clues.
All right. So, Tiger, hold on. What? What? Okay. So, Tiger Lily, you said something, and I apologize. You're gonna hold her action. Is that right?
Yes, she said yes.
Okay. Roland. So I'm gonna put a timer on here. And what?
So this thing is clearly coming right for us.
At this point, it's taking a defensive posture right now between you and everything in the room.
So that thing looks like it's got like a physical form, or is he like non-physical, or do we not know?
I can have you roll a perception check on your next turn if you like.
Let's do it. Oh, on my turn?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I hold that roll until my turn.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, I need to do this because I don't know if I'm actually like I can't just attack this thing. I have to. I'm just Divine Sense to see if it's evil.
Okay. And Divine Sense, does it tell you? It tells you if it's good or evil, and then what type it is.
It says, as an action, you can detect good and evil until the end of your turn. You can sense anything affected by a howl spell or another location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet.
Okay.
That's not behind total cover.
So as far as you can feel from this, he is none of those. He's not celestial fiend. He is not permeating evil. He seems to be genuinely, as far as you can tell, his mind might have been twisted over the years, but he is doing his duty as assigned.
Okay. So I'll say, what exactly are you protecting? We're not here to steal anything.
Adventurers are always the same. They come, they take, I kill.
And you're hearing this in your heads, each of you, who are basically everybody in the area. At this point, I don't know how Malaku would have.
I don't know how to feel about this. Like, I honestly, I'm going to pass. I'm going to pull out my weapons, but I'm not going to do anything else. Because, well, my Divine Sense takes an action, but I'm not going to make any move into the room at this time because I'm not feeling justification in, like, attacking it.
Okay.
I know that makes me sound like Vamfina, but...
So you're holding your action?
I don't even have an action. The Divine Sense was technically an action.
Okay, so that was your action. Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. So the next up, the spectator here, he's floating in the air, and as he's looking at you, his eyes darting between you, and his eyes kind of sometimes rolls back in his head, and one of its eyes is looking around, one of which he stops, and he's staring down in this particular direction, off through the wall. You get the sense, Aurora, that you have this the hairs on the back of your neck are raising as though something is just surveying you up and down. And at this point, he is going to turn towards Clandon, because he was the one who was speaking specifically to him. And one of his eye stalks is going to look at you and use its eye ray. And he's basically going to be like,
You will not ruin this. I have done this many years. You will not have it. It is mine.
And then he is going to... Let's see, creature with speech. Okay. Alright, so I need you to make a DC Wisdom saving throw of 13.
Come on. Yes!
So as this eye stalk looks at you, you feel this pulsation and the vibration that just almost kind of rattles your brain. You feel confusion start to wash over you, but you're quickly able to kind of shake it off and move out of the way. And his confusion ray does not succeed.
I look at Clan. Do I notice that he just basically got attacked?
You did see a basic, just a yellow beam of you don't know what hit him. Yes.
Okay, then I turn back and my face is hardened to resolve now.
Okay.
It's attack my friends, attack the people that I've sworn my life to protect.
Okay, and you see it floating slowly closer, and its tongue whipping and lashing, kind of just madly, not angrily, but like in kind of a crazed way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next is Clandon.
Alright. I want to... I want to, as I see him getting closer, and that little ray was kind of scary, I'm going to take a few steps back, put some distance between him and myself.
Okay.
Then I'm going to go ahead and conjure strike.
Okay.
And, oh, whoa, I did not expect that.
So it's a And so you're rolling a DC 12 strength save.
Oh, I thought it would like do the text and stuff like it normally does.
So this ensnaring strike, that one is a attack, is it not? Or is it a spell?
It's a spell.
Okay, so it's a spell. So he just needs to make a D12
There you go.
saving throw. Got it.
Next time you hit a creature with weapon attack before the spell ends.
7. It does not make its throw, or its saving throw, but 1
I haven't
second.
attacked yet.
I'm just making sure there's no. Okay.
Okay, then I'm
So what are you doing?
gonna
Roll 20,
basically
just
attack
kick
with
me
my
out. That's what I'm
longbow.
doing. Totally just.
Becca got kicked out.
No.
20 does hit.
Oh.
Okay, so next time creature with weapon attack before spells. Okay, so it does hit, and then he does not make his wisdom save. So he is at this point restrained to that spot. Let me get the chains out. Got me in chains.
And then
Don't forget you have a second attack.
yeah,
Yes.
I was about to say I want to take my second attack.
6 piercing damage. Got it. So you see him and he as it hits near his eye stalk. 15 does hit. Okay, 6 piercing damage. Okay, so you see the second shot here, plus 6. There we go. Now, that also should have had the ensnaring strike did an additional 1 damage, correct?
Does it? No, it does a 1d6 on his turn.
A 1d6
Yeah, so
on his turn. Okay.
Each turn he starts. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Cool. All right, I will make sure that that happens then. All right, so Clandon, that's yours. Makalu, Makalau. Dog.
Mecha like a high.
Malekahi, Malekaha.
Hmm.
Alright.
Sorry, I'm still trying to figure him out.
You're just in there. What do you like? So, like, what's your thing?
What do you do? What are you useful for?
So,
Okay.
what do you do?
Right. So, here.
Okay, so he can do a fight.
Mount. There's handbook. So mounted, you have 2 options. You can control it or act independently. Control a mount. It's trained to accept a rider. Blah, dash, disengage, and dodge. 3 options it has.
Okay. He's going to go up and see what's been happening.
Okay. Okay. He has a higher intelligence, correct?
You mean higher than a normal?
Yes.
Master?
It's more than
Yeah.
7 or 8.
It's got like a 6. The fine steed makes it like a 6 if it doesn't have an intelligence above
Okay,
6.
so he's at least a 6. I just want to make sure because it says that they can move independently if they're intelligent enough, but if they're not, then you have to move them around. Serves mount. Okay, bear with us for a second. 5 or less, intelligence becomes 6. You can understand 1 language of choice. Okay, yes, so it is intelligent enough to move independent. Go ahead.
Oh.
His vision is not opening up when they move him though.
Okay.
So I'm moving him into black spaces. I just can't see what's going on.
Okay. Let me fix it. Here you go.
and he's gonna go up and do an attack, I guess.
Okay. So go ahead and roll his attack. Just whatever's in there, just roll it, and then you can add the others.
So it's looks like it's a +3 hit.
So roll a d20 and then add 3. Mastiff. Okay, +3 does not hit.
So I'm assuming that we can this mastiff is big enough that Vivina can ride, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because a normal mastiff is only rideable by small creatures.
Yeah,
so
I would
this is-
assume.
You got a big boy.
This
We got a big
this
boy.
guy is like you have mastiffs. Her feet are kind of close to the ground when she's riding him, so it's not like he's the size of a Clydesdale, but he is larger than your typical mastiff.
So
So he
5 total
misses.
for the attack.
Yeah, so 5 total for the attack. He does not make the attack does not succeed. And just make sure he doesn't have any secondary spells. And it's immune to being prone either way. So, all right. So next, Aurora, and then Venfina, you're on deck.
Actually, sorry. We should point out that it's restrained right now, so
It
the
is
attack
restrained.
does have advantage.
That is true.
So if you want to roll again, use that better result. If you think you can roll it better than a 2.
22. That does hit. Go ahead and roll for a damage. However, he does not. He automatically succeeds the strength saving throw on prone. The spectator.
So
So
it's
you hit,
1d6
you're gonna-
plus 1 piercing damage.
So the 4 is the average damage. So roll 1d6 and add 1.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so that's 3 damage.
It's actually 4.
You didn't have to add the 1? Okay, so this is going to be a plus 4. Alright. Aurora, go ahead. And Benfina, you're on deck.
Okay.
Get it, Rory.
So at this point, you've seen Malaku and you see Clandon gets shot by some unknown light. He retreated. The big dog kind of comes lumbering up, and you see. You probably wouldn't see the spectator just yet, but you do see a large shadow of a floating figure on the wall over this side.
Sorry. Okay. Okay. How much are each of these red squares worth?
Each one of these are 5 feet. So the red squares are 5 feet. The defined bigger squares are 10 feet. So if you wanted to go up, that's 5, 10, 15, 20 feet to you, between you and Roland. Okay, so that's 1 to 15 feet. And then I think you have 35 feet of movement, right?
Yeah. Well,
So-
now I have 30.
You have 30. Okay, so at this point, as you're kind of coming up here, you see in the side of the door, this floating figure, a tongue lolling out, eye stalks kind of going around, and his eye tracks and looks at you.
From here, will I hit Roland?
Not because you're a sharpshooter. He has 3/4 cover, from Roland, but your sharpshooting ignores that. 12 does not hit.
Okay.
So you shoot, and it kind of like bobs and weaves out of the way, and its little eye stalks kind of almost snake-like. It's posturing a lot more aggressively. 8 does not hit. So you're shaken visibly by this spectator and
Advantage.
just the weird
Sorry,
form.
advantage on both of those.
You're right. He is restrained.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and roll.
Roll
Take
both of them again.
roll 2 more. Yeah. We'll just treat the second one. So 2 does not hit, and then 9 does not hit.
Yeah, it's not gonna hit no matter what.
That's okay. That's okay. And you don't have to roll with sharpshooter if you don't want to. You can roll the other one too, because the sharpshooter does a negative
But
5 mod.
if I roll the other one, then I have a chance of hitting Roland.
You still so the sharpshooter feat. The only time that negative 5 modifier takes effect is if you are trying to get the additional damage. Does that make sense? You're always a sharpshooter no matter what, so you ignore cover. But that sharpshooter shot is a specific action you take.
Okay.
So you can shoot it normally. So for next time, if you want to shoot it normally, you can. Sharpshooter is going to do way more damage though, so it's up to you on what you want to do. So next up is going to be Venfina. Tiger Lily's on deck.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask Makalu to tell me what he sees of the situation before I go down.
Can he speak to you telepathically?
Yeah, we can speak telepathically.
Okay, so if you speak telepathically, you hear back, not in like plain words, but more almost in senses and visceral. You feel the smell of just something wrong, something amiss, something just not part of this place. You see an image of a large floating creature in front of it that's kind of you get this feeling of danger.
Okay, and when I did my divine sense earlier, did it actually do anything? Because we didn't.
No, divine. Now this divine sense does show you the aberrations, correct?
No,
yeah,
no.
I don't believe it does. So,
Nope.
no, you would not have found. You didn't feel anything in this vicinity. You don't feel any undead. You don't feel any celestials, fiends. None of that. This is
Okay.
something different.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm going to pull out my longbow and go down the stairs.
Okay.
Not my longbow. I don't have that. I have a crossbow.
Heavy crossbow. Okay. So you head down the stairs. Go ahead and move where you'd like to. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's 30.
And I would like to use my channel divinity to cast Emissary of Peace.
Okay. Go ahead and cast an Emissary of Peace. Bonus actions. So you augmented presence. Okay. I'm going to put it on a status effect on you. I'll put little... I don't know what. Let's give it a winglings. Oh! Okay, so what about your action? Okay, so at this point you do see a floating ball of flesh, eye stalks kind of moving around, just almost like snakes. You see these grasping, just gnarled vines that are just pulling into him and keeping him from raising himself higher off of the ground.
Okay, actually, I'd like to do like a history check, or just see if I know anything about this creature.
Okay, roll a history
how
check.
they came about.
Okay, roll your history check. 7. Plus 10. Alright, so you got a 10. Same thing as Roland. You've heard of because you get the sense that this has something to do with the wizards. You're not really sure what it is because this is not a natural creature, but you don't immediately recognize what it's from, what it is, what its strengths and
Like, if it
weaknesses are.
started out as a person and became this, or what?
Correct. You don't. You get this. You get the sense that this is. This seems to be something arcane in nature, possibly, but you're not sure.
All right. I'm actually going to approach a little bit further.
Okay, go ahead. So let's see, that'd be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. If you were to run directly there, that'd be up 30 feet. But if you went to the...
Okay.
If you went down there and then came back up, you probably
Well,
wouldn't be able
I
to
just
make it.
was making that kind of view around it. So if I could see him by going straight there, then
Okay, that's fine.
I just wanted to like come in and assess the situation.
Yep.
Anyway, okay. So
Stealer of drinks.
all right. Penny, like a So, I'll just ask him, what is it that you are, or how did you get here, or something? I don't know.
So it looks quickly again like its eye kind of rolls around, looks in your direction, and he says,
I was summoned here, and I will do as I was asked.
We mean you no harm, and we have come here seeking friends, and just have you seen any coming through here?
Friends, I need none. I'm here to serve my purpose, nothing more. None have come here and survived.
I'll let you do one more statement. Do a persuasion check for me, please. And that's with the +5, so make sure you add that using your emissary of peace. That's a 6 + 5. That's 11. So at this point, you don't seem to you're not. He doesn't seem to be dissuaded one way or the other. He seems a little bit kind of off his rocker to begin with, but you don't sense that he's that you're drinking the same Kool-Aid.
I am through to him.
What'd you say, Clinton?
I don't think you're getting through to him.
Okay. All right. So, do you have any bonus actions before I move on? No, you don't, because you use emissary piece. Okay. Sorry. Tiger Lily. Roland, you're on deck.
Yeah, sorry, I'm counting.
Okay.
When you get in your bed.
Okay, I am going to try and pounce on him.
Okay. So she can go ahead and run, and the I always get this pounce wrong. Give me a second.
I forgot I have a second action.
Alright. Tiger Lily. Going down, pounce moves at least 20 feet. Yep. So, she tries to jump on it, and immediately as she kind of lands on it, it moves, basically pushes out of the way and floats above her and kind of shakes her off.
Can it move?
It can, because it's immune to prone. It cannot be
Well, it's
knocked prone.
But it's restrained.
It is restrained, but either way, it is immune to being prone.
Okay, fair enough.
That's the problem. So she can still make her attack. but she won't get the bonus bite attack because he succeeded. So.
Okay, that's fine.
So go ahead and roll her.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Whichever attack, either bite or slash, whichever one you want. All right, attack 20. Yes, does do damage. 6 slashing damage. And he kind of recoils a little bit. And then Roland's turn.
That's me.
It's me, Roland.
So I've got my weapons out now. The torch is on the ground at my feet, as it usually is when I pull out my weapons. And I'm gonna
go out.
Whoops.
I'm gonna weave around the panther and the mastiff.
Okay.
Kind of get in there myself. And in fact, because it doesn't provoke an opportunity attack when I move within a creature's field.
Correct.
I'm gonna come into the room a little bit too. So.
Okay. Perfect.
And I'm just going to kind of weave in there, and I'm going to take my sword, and I'm going to flash it against him, just kind of like with a quick slash or two.
Okay.
One. And be like, you will not hurt my friends. You won't hurt my friends.
I hate my friends.
Friends.
My friends.
Wait, why does it say that I have attack action, name rations? Okay, weird.
Oh, roll
Rations,
20.
Go!
It's perfect. Eat my rations. 25 does hit.
I threw rations at the Nothic.
You did, and it kind of
It was
worked.
pretty effective.
And then it is with the 5, so
Okay.
8 damage.
All right, so 8 total damage. So you slash him, and again he kind of blurbles, and you hear it in the back of your head, just like.
All right. And that's it. That's my turn.
Okay, so at this point, you see the ice stalks again kind of shudder a little bit and kind of stop and shake, almost similar to the tail of a rattlesnake. And at this point, you see the two of the ice stalks begin to like look up in the air, and you see 3. So the first one that's going to attack is going to.
Don't forget, he takes 5 damage. I don't know
You're
if
right.
that's going to change anything.
So
And he has disadvantage on his attacks.
Okay.
Because he's restrained.
So he is going to here damage, and so at this point he's going to again. They're going to shudder. You're going to see this 1 and 3. So the first one is going to be hitting. Go ahead and have Tiger Lily give me a DC 13 Wisdom saving throw, and then.
How do I do that?
You're going to just on her wisdom bar inside of her character sheet. Just click on wisdom, and it needs to succeed of 13 or higher. So it does succeed. You see that familiar yellow glow and that kind of pulsing light as it hits, and she kind of like you see her kind of shake her head a little bit, but she's able to get it off. And Roland, if you can also roll me a DC Constitute, this isn't Constitute. This is Wisdom saving throw. You see this other one. This one is black as night, and as this wave washes over you, you feel that chill that you had once before. That touch of death, like creeping across your neck, and you are currently now feared or frightened from the spectator for 1 minute.
That's
Cool.
10 turns.
So that is So you're gonna have that. Gonna go, and what's going to happen is that you can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns, and anytime the spectator is visible, you'll have disadvantage on your attacks. So
Okay.
Oh, he can actually attack?
he can attack and do that. So now he's going to, because you're in range, he's also going to bite at Tiger Lily at this point. So he's going to roll for an attack, and it's going to be disadvantage. It's a 14. And a natural 1, so he does not succeed. So he kind of pulls forward his teeth. You see like the vines kind of pulling at him, and he's got his tongue lolling about, and he kind of is gnashing, but he isn't able to make it connect. Now, remind me on that Thorns. He can make a strength saving throw. Is that as his action, or is that just as a creature's disadvantage saving throw?
He can
Finds
do
triple away.
Use its
a
action.
strength check.
It's
Okay.
as an action.
So that's as an action. So next turn he will try and use that as his action. So that is the end of the spectator's turn. You just see him just in the back of your head. You're just hearing this echo in your mind. He's like,
I will succeed.
Clandon, or not Clandon. I'm Roland. Roland lets out a deep kind of blood curdling scream of terror after that bullet hits him.
Roland, are you okay?
the faint smell of defecation has entered the room because of the natural one. Because of the
Let's
natural
not go
one.
so far. The Constitution save was pretty good there. I just wasted a 20. That's brilliant.
So you almost scared Crapless. Almost.
Okay.
Help.
I got you, Roland. I go ahead and take another attack with my longbow.
Okay.
And I miss.
You do have advantage because he
Oh, I
is
do?
restrained.
I forget this. Should I just roll it again? Or...
Yeah, just roll the same thing again. 21
Nice.
does hit. Go ahead and roll for damage. Okay, 7 piercing damage. So as you see this, again, this eye, he's getting much more frantic, and he's looking around, looking somewhat like a pincushion with the other arrows that you had already put into him, the slash marks, some of the eye stalks coming off. With this final shot, how do you want him to die?
That one gets him. No, I don't want to do that. It's gonna get the green part of him. It's not gonna get his eye, but it's gonna get some kind of vital organ there.
Okay, so you see as he kind of opens his mouth and he's going for the bite, you see your opportunity open as he lifts his head slightly, and you see the soft palate of his mouth, and you fire, and the arrow you see just sink deeply in, and you hear at first silence, and then a reverberating cry in each of your minds,
No.
and then you see him just disperse into astral nothingness. And he's dead.
You did your job well. I'm sorry we couldn't be friends.
Perfect. So you guys were able to defeat, at this point, you've catching your breath and hearing the reverberating feelings pulse through this. Roland, you feel the source of your fear has been dispelled. He is gone, and you're no longer frightened. This room, again, you see within the room, you see in the center here, I've unfortunately gotten rid of the effect, and I don't know how to get it back. With the green flame, this is where the brazier sits. You see around the room what seems to be different artifacts and things that have either been created or were in the process of creation at some point. And you're now standing in the room with nothing but the persistent licking green flames of this brazier.
It's lighting up the room pretty good.
It would be as bright as a green. This particular room is pretty well lit. Okay. It fills the room with light.
Is the torch still lit on the ground?
Yes. I'm gonna grab my torch and I'm gonna put it out for now.
Put it in your pocket.
Perfect.
Put it in the pocket. Put it in the pocket.
Put it in the pocket.
I'm gonna investigate the room because this looks right up my alley.
All right. Do me a Arcana check. Anyone who wants
That is
to
not up my alley.
Anyone who wants to look at this room and kind of check it out. Roland Benfina, you're just at an amazement.
Oh, double 7.
Clandon as well. You're just looking at this room and you're just kind of in awe of everything that is happening. You see the shinies on the walls. Same thing. This room is just you're overcome with just like what had just happened, that you're thinking about the encounter with the spectator.
Can I roll one for my mastiff?
Sure. I don't know how much he would know of
He's
Arcana, but
intelligent, okay?
he's intelligent.
What should I roll though? Should I just
It's
roll
wisdom,
mine?
I think. Let me make sure.
No, intelligence.
No, intelligence.
It's intelligence, yes. So you roll intelligence. Or Arcana. Wisdom's
So
for
1d20 minus 2.
religion, right?
Yeah, wisdom's for religion.
Okay.
Looks like intelligence on here for religion.
Oh no, religion is intellect.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Not surprising. Okay, so what are you trying not to do? It's right here. +1. He's a 12. He's a +1 on his wisdom.
It's intelligence though.
And if it's intelligence, it's -4. So you'd roll your 1d20 -4.
Minus 2.
His intelligence is increased to 6.
Yeah.
Minus 2.
So -2. So it'd be, it'd be -2. So we'll do a 1d20 -2. 9, 8. So he again, he's kind of smelling around the room. Just it smells different, odd. Bad thing, not there no more.
Why do we have no arcane people in the party?
Dude, I am. It's just a bad roll.
So you guys see again in this room, you see all the different kind of workshop benches. Many of them have been scorched or otherwise destroyed, but you do see again the remains of what seems to have been a workshop in this area. You see a door on the northern, well, you don't know which direction, on the wall in the back that also adjoins to this room.
So, feeling slightly self-conscious about my terrifying scream that I just did, Roland's going to be brave and go to that door, just like open it up brazenly.
Okay, go ahead and swing it open. So as you open it up, we have in here GM overlay, dynamic lighting. So you open up the door, and seeing in this particular room, there's a separate workspace. This seems like an area that is a room that it was a preparation room. What your best guess would be that these are items that perhaps were intended to be enchanted, since many of them do not have any kind of magical aura. Many of them have rusted or decayed. You get the sense that they have not been touched in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
These were intended to be, but are not.
And then there's another door.
Yep, there is another door.
Roland goes, "There's another door," and then I'm going to light my torch again and head through that door.
Okay, you light through the door. As you peer out into the distance, you see that this seems to be the upper part of the other side of the building that you may not have seen. You see to your right a corridor of stairs that is leading down deeper into the cave, well beyond where you can see into the darkness, and the cavern extending in front of you for some distance.
Are we still feeling the pulsating?
Yes, every 2 minutes you still feel that pulsing in the room. So if you guys want to make me a perception check, those of you who are still in the room. Or, yeah, make me a perception check.
God, these rolls.
This is basically just going to decide who notices what. 22,
There we go.
Venfina.
Thank you, Venfina.
And then Aurora.
Guys, I have a freaking +10. It shouldn't have been bad.
And then Aurora's.
Sorry, perception.
Perception, please, yes. 16. Okay, so Venfina first. So Venfina and Aurora, Venfina noticing it quicker than the rest, is that they're on the work table in the southeast corner of the room. There are items sitting there, one of which is a mace, and you see that this mace seems to permeate and give a unnatural glow to it, a radiance of light. And then the other in the room, you see a breastplate with a gold dragon motif worked very, very masterfully into the chest plate of it. What do you two do?
Okay, I come back in at this point
Well,
while everybody's looking, and I'll be like, "It's just a door. There's like a closet. What do we find in here?"
So I'm gonna go up to them and see what kind of properties they're putting off.
So
like
there's two. They're not necessarily next to each other. So which one are you going to?
The breastplate.
Okay, so you go to Dragon Guard. Aurora.
Probably the other one, I guess.
Okay, so light. You go to the mace. So, Venfina, are you inspecting this?
Yeah.
Roll
guess
me.
that's what I'm doing.
Roll me an Arcana check real quick.
Where are they at?
They are basically, you've got one of them that's on this kind of top part of the bench, and then the other one is down here on the other side of the bench.
15.
So 15, okay. So Aurora, Venfina, you're looking at it, and as you're kind of handling it, you see inside written in Elvish on the back piece of this particular breastplate, and it says Dragon Guard.
And I know anything about this.
Roll me a history check. And then Aurora, go ahead and roll me Arcana if you want for the inspection. History 22. You have heard of this Dragon Guard. This was there of the many items, just random obscurity that you have seen in books, and for whatever reason you've heard of this particular breastplate. And specifically, it was because of the hero that was involved. This was a hero of Neverwinter. His name was Turgon, and he basically he was known for his prowess in fighting and skillfully defending against breath attacks from dragons and other things that would normally otherwise be disintegrated. Aurora, you pick up the mace and you just see that this is very skillfully made, and you just feel there is a very divine energy coming off of this particular item.
Arnar.
Okay, is there like a plus whatever that this?
This is a +1 breastplate.
And it has special dragon attributes, essentially.
It has the dragon motif on it, so kind of gives away. It kind of negates the need for an identify spell if I just tell you. So just put down dragon.
Oh, sorry.
I wish I had my pearls.
So,
I have identify, but it requires.
I don't want to undermine that, but you do know it is named Dragon Guard and you've heard of it. But if you want to put it in your inventory, just write down Dragon Guard, breastplate, page 48. Then Aurora, you have in your hand again this mace. It's very lightweight, very. Normally, you would expect a martial weapon of this type to be kind of heavy and just off balance. It is very well balanced. It is very, very finely made. And you can go ahead and when you're looking at based on your perception check, as you're looking along the handle of it and the haft of this particular thing, you see some of these runes going up the side. Also written in Elvish is the name Lightbringer. But that's about all you can kind of decipher from this particular...
Name of what?
Lightbringer, the particular mace that you have in your hands.
Is it page 48?
You what?
48.
Page 48, yes.
I want to check out the thing in the center that was glowing green.
Alright, do me
Is it just a
a...
green fire, or yeah, I want to
Do another Arcana check for me. 11. This is some pretty cool green flame.
This is pretty cool.
Green flame.
Hey, Roland, light your torch in this.
Okay, I'm gonna light my torch in the green flame.
Okay. So you're sticking it in there and kind of letting it sit and become engulfed in flame, or how are you? Did you put the fire out? Okay, so if you left it in there, you start to pull it out.
The regular fire out, and then I put it. I light it again.
Okay, so you pull it out, And this torch suddenly feels like if you hit something, you get a +1 on it.
Oh.
It feels a little bit more deadly than it did before.
I'm gonna put my sword in there.
Okay.
No, that's a bad idea. I do not do that. Actually, I respect my gear enough to know not to just put something in something else. That's ridiculous. I just look at the torch and I go, wow, these flames are powerful. I'm feeling like power coming off of it. Actual power.
Dang. Okay, so I want you to mark down that 12 hours.
12 hours?
Yep. Just write down 12 hours with your torch.
Wow. I'm never putting this torch out.
It might not be
Let's
lit,
explain.
but you could use it as a weapon for a while. So knowing your because you are familiar with enchantments and you are familiar with kind of imbuing some magic into items, you notice that this forge, this seems to be a place where this green flame was used to enchant items, and this particular item, you can see that the enchantment took very strongly to your torch,
My mundane torch.
and for the next 12 hours, it is a +1 torch. It won't stay lit for 12 hours, but it will. If you attack with it, it'll be a +1. But if you want to exchange the damage for, because it says here either it's armor, +1 armor, or +1 weapon, I would also allow it to be a plus 12 hour
hold
torch
on.
without damage.
Is
you
the
want.
torches
Ooh,
flame green?
Yes.
Yes, that's so cool.
that is so cool. Yeah.
And as the
So my
flames
shield
lick, you
is
start to
plus-
see the pieces of the flame are like slowly just like pulsing down through the handle of this torch.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Each of the crags.
So I'm gonna kind of wave it around a little bit and go. I might use this instead of my shield for the time being. It depends. We'll find out. We'll figure.
And I want to put my bow in there, but that is still a flame.
Right.
Yeah, maybe here. Let me see one of your arrows.
All right, sure. I hand him an arrow.
Okay, I'm gonna stick the arrow tip into the flame.
Okay. And upon leaving it there, you don't see it immediately take effect, but as you leave it there a little bit longer, you see that this particular one arrow would be a +1 to, let's say +1 to damage for the next 3 hours.
Incredible, and it doesn't look like it did any damage, like any heat damage or anything.
This flame doesn't seem to consume items. It seems more to take magical properties and imbue them into items
Okay.
temporarily,
Upon
because
seeing
obviously you guys aren't enchanters, and
upon seeing that, I'm gonna go ahead and risk it, and I'm gonna stick my bow and my longbow into the flame.
okay. So as you stick it in there, you start to see as the flames lick, you see these. It's almost as if there's a spectral ghost rider kind of etching into the side of your bow. You see these small runic items that appear. And after about a minute, you pull it out, and you see that your bow is now, for 1 hour, a +1 bow.
Nice. Everybody, stick your get your weapons in here. Let's get some.
What happens if I step into there?
Go ahead.
I think I like to do a check on this before I put anything in it.
I've already got my sword in there, and I'm like, what's that?
Okay, so your sword is a +1 for 9 hours.
How long did you say on my bow?
Your bow is 1 hour. Your arrow is 3 hours. Arcana of 13. You seeing this particular thing again? You just you know it's magic and it's doing stuff to things, but you're not really sure how it works. And that's for Vinafina.
Alright,
That's okay. You're looking at this. You know it's doing something magical to them, but you're not really sure what it is or how it works. sorry. We've got a Wambo. All right. So, is anyone else doing anything? Aurora?
No.
Okay. So you're kind of watching this as the spectacle as everyone's kind of putting things into the fire.
Hey, Aurora, put Tiger Lily in there.
Tiger Lily, here's her
Did anybody
name.
find anything cool in the room? I didn't. Everybody's kind of been exploring a little bit, but I've been admiring this torch.
I'll go up to these top ones and rummage.
Okay, go ahead and rummage through. Investigation.
I found nothing.
Roll.
Okay,
Roll a persuasion check for me, Aurora, and then Roland based on your passive perception. If she rolls higher than your passive perception, she succeeds in the deception.
12.
12. So persuasion 4. She
What about that mace you have in your hand?
She slowly puts the mace behind her back, but it's glowing a little bit, and you kind of see it shimmering against the wall. For Vinfina, what did you say?
Sticking.
oh, just for putting my weapons in the flame.
Okay, so you put the weapons in the flame, and then you just leave the breastplate there?
No, I took the breastplate with me.
Okay. You weren't here, but Roland also asked a question.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just asked if anybody found anything. Obviously, Aurora found some sort of magical weapon over there that she doesn't want to share with anybody.
Yeah, I found some kind of breastplate. You know, Clinton, when I saw it, I thought of you because it had this dragon on the front. So I don't know if we want to hang on to it and then maybe see what kind of special properties it has.
Yeah, once we get back to town, I should be able to gather the materials in order to identify any items that we find that might be magical.
Let's do that.
I don't know if we want to just wear it and see what kind of magic happens.
What
or
kind of breastplate is that going to be? Like a medium or large or heavy armor?
Breastplate. Let me check.
Sounds like a heavy armor.
I believe this breastplate. Armor
It's
breastplate
medium.
wear. Yeah.
Yep, medium, it's 14 plus your dex modifier, maximum 2.
Can rangers wear medium?
I think you can.
Yep. Fitted metal chest piece worn with supple leather. Although it leaves the legs and arms relatively unprotected, this armor provides good protection for the wearer's vital organs while leaving the wearer relatively unencumbered.
That is a nice chest piece.
Well, if you want to test it out, and then we can see what kind of magic it may or may not have.
Sure, let's do it. Maybe it'll glow green like the flame. So I go.
Well, you could put it in the flame too and see what kind of extra stuff you get on it.
I would recommend against that. If it's already magical, that might have unintended
might,
consequences.
I had a similar thought. So I go ahead and I take off my current chest piece and put on the breastplate.
Yep, so that is medium armor. Okay, so you got it. As you kind of put it on, you feel it kind of, feels a little bit big on you, but as you're kind of shifting and you feel it kind of and suck and just form better to your body, and you're able to move much more comfortably after this takes place.
Wow, man, this thing is definitely magical.
It looks good.
All right.
Thanks.
And I want to put my weapons in the flame.
Okay.
for a minute.
Go ahead. And which one first? Crossbow?
Sure.
Crossbow, 1 hour. That's a plus one.
Okay.
And then what else?
I have a glaive.
So your glaive is for 2 hours.
So what should I be? Would I take off my leather armor and put on
Yes.
that? Do I need to search for it?
You would replace it. Type in Dragon Guard. There's a specific item for it.
Got it.
Just ignore its...
Do you want him just to look for a +1+ breastplate right now?
Yeah, right now just do a +1 breastplate.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Again, I don't want to undermine the whole.
Got it. Yeah.
Because then there's
So,
no reason to
Aurora,
take
you don't
identify.
want to put your weapons into the fire?
She's
She just stepped
stepping
away.
away for a minute.
I'll assume that she does for an hour. So if she comes back, that we'll say an hour.
And it's just a +1 to attack on those weapons, right?
Yes. So the +1 is to your on hit. Make sure. Enchanted weapons.
Alright, and I'm gonna head down to this other workbench and investigate there.
Okay. I'm enchanted. Okay, so you investigate there. Investigation natural 20, and what are you looking for?
See what is on this bottom workbench.
Okay, so after having pulled the two items from this, between you and Clandon, you're able to find different pieces and parts, and basically just baubles and things that would normally possibly have gone into the crafting and creating a weapon, but you don't find anything that these seem to be the last two, between the mace and the breastplate, the last two surviving masterpieces in this particular workshop. But you do find cogs and other things if you'd like to take some.
Do I happen to find any like pearls or other components?
No. You do not find pearls.
I tried.
I'll take some spare parts.
Go ahead and write down. Go ahead and
Yeah,
write down
I'll
however
grab
much
like
you
some
want.
cogs and shove them in my pockets, and a sprocket here and there.
You can tell that there's been both dwarves, elves, other things, gnomes, based on the kind of clockwork. Not really finished pieces, but things that are in this room.
If I see anything that looks elven, I think I'd like to take that.
Okay. So other than what's in here, you don't see anything again that's been completed, but you see
Right, I want
things that
something
are
that has
inlays.
been started. Yeah.
You find a small haft of what seems to be some kind of a ceremonial dagger. It's ivory in color, and you see very finely inlaid like vines, with the kind of mother of pearl going and tracing all the way down the handle to the bottom. Mother of pearl, not pearl. But it's just the handle. It's just the handle of what looks to be possibly a ceremonial dagger or something that was started. But again, there's nothing else to it. Just a handle.
Hey, by the way, when he disappeared, did the arrows just kind of fall to the ground that were in him, or did they disappear with him?
Those ones did just fall to the ground. When he dispersed, you get the sense that he has returned to whatever plane he was called from.
I'm gonna pick up the arrows and make sure they get back to their rightful owner.
You.
And Sarah
all mine?
Sarah has two in the room, so you guys can pull back whatever you had shot.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna make you roll for those ones. Okay, so in this room again, it just steadily you just see the flickering light of this, and
Okay.
the room is otherwise
I
still.
think we've done all we can here.
Do we want to go up into that other hallway that you saw, or do we want to exit this room?
I'm pretty sure that's just another exit for the room, so let's just go on our usual path. I'll head out the workshop door.
Okay.
And then head to the north.
All right, so you head to the north, and as you're doing so, again, you see the familiar from what you saw from the other door. You're seeing a to your left a large corridor that goes that direction, and then to the north, or in front of you somewhere, you know that you'd seen some stairs that led down deeper the cave.
All right. Left or down those stairs? Is there any sort of light or anything coming from the left? Because I'm seeing a light in my vision.
Yes.
Check over
Very,
here.
very distantly, you see just a faint glimmer in that direction, of kind of a waning, flickering light, but to the north.
I'm gonna call back. Roland, there's some stairs heading down over here.
Hang on, Clandon, come here, and I kind of motion him over. And I'm gonna point down the hallway, and I'm gonna say, "Do you see that distant light?"
Yeah, I also see something. I think it's moving in there.
Okay. I'm gonna grab my sword in one hand. I've got the torch in the other, rather than my shield.
Okay.
So my armor class will be 18, but that's still pretty good. And I'm gonna say, I say we head that direction. If there's a light, we should follow it.
Okay, let's try to
Now,
go.
I can head or have Maku head up there and he can
Investigate.
let us know.
Sure.
I mean, if we see something happening, we're hesitant, we can always send him in. Horrible.
If there's any danger, though, he should try to go so quietly, and if there's any danger, have him come back.
So when he hears your words, Vinfina, you see him kind of put his snout up a little proudly and trot towards that direction begrudgingly.
Right, because he can smell and he can hear keenly, apparently.
And he can understand common.
Actually, he speaks Infernal.
Oh, that's right.
That's
It's
right. You
Infernal.
made him speak Infernal.
That's right. He
But
speaks
he
Infernal.
can comprehend. He can speak in Infernal, but he understands. I don't know.
No, actually, I think you can just understand Infernal.
I think it's just understanding. He cannot talk.
Okay. Well. Okay. He's going.
Okay, so Makalu, as he's kind of coming down this hallway, he's gonna. So from where he's standing, you're going to get these feelings, these smells. This, as he's traveling further down this, you get this flash in your mind of old and decay, and you sees again the corpses of just skeletons just kind of strewn about the place. And as he comes in, you see these flashes of just memories and things that he is seeing. He sees a blast furnace. There's this entire cavern is a blast furnace and mechanical bellows that seem to be powered by a large wheel that he doesn't quite understand. You see that there's heaps of coal piled nearby. There's carts filled with unrefined ore, and there's a water, a wheel sitting in this very large channel. You see another flash come into your mind. The channel's dry. There's not. He expects something to be there, water, something to bring life to this place, but you don't. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. What is the distance that he can continue to communicate with you? Is it 100 feet?
Mile.
Is it a mile? Okay. So he continues as he's kind of trotting through here. He steps and he smells and sees these different things. There's more than a dozen withered corpses scattered around the room. You see again the slain dwarves. You see orcs. He smells all these different smells and things that are all just kind of mixed together. So he's a little overwhelmed. And he sees, as he's trotting, the last thing that he sees, you see he flashes back. You feel this feeling of unsurety. You smell undead, and then you see green flames as he snuffs out.
What?
That's the last thing that you recall from him. You feel his presence on this plane disappear and go back to his original plane.
You killed my master.
I didn't kill him.
So Roland turns to you and says, "What's he doing?"
Did he have the chest?
No, we didn't put the chest on.
Okay.
No, we didn't put the chest on it.
Okay, just asking.
1,000 copper coins.
Well, I have some bad
happened?
news.
Is it?
We should definitely have our weapons ready. There seems to be undead and some old. I think we might have stumbled upon the what is it, like a well or a mine or whatever that thing is, the forge.
An industrial forge.
Yeah, that's the forge. The forge is what is in these mines, right?
Yeah, the spell forge.
Yeah. Well, I do think we've stumbled upon something because I no longer have communication with Makalu, so we should
Okay then.
definitely proceed with caution.
All right.
Well, should we just go ahead forward and we can try to be stealthy and see if we can't get a visual of whatever took out Makalu.
Agreed. Except have a torch, and we won't be able to be stealthy. So let's rush in.
Okay.
Or you can put
Well, how about rolling?
lead you.
I turn to Glenn and I'm like, green flame!
Oh, the
It's
green
green flame! I can't put it out!
About that same moment, Venfini, you start to feel the effects of your emissary of peace wane and dissipate.
So it's been about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Up for my torch. I say, was there anything that he sensed that would have attacked him?
Yeah, the only senses I got were of undead, and there was actually more of the green flames, from what I can recall.
All right.
Should one of us go ahead and try to get a peek, or should we just go on in?
Well, I mean, if anything,
If there's something dangerous, one person might not be able to take it, so maybe we should just all go.
maybe I can always cast some protection on someone, or I can even go in and I've got my face step I can easily use. So
Okay. You want to do that?
yeah, I also
Okay.
have a darkness spell we got a while back, and it will allow me to not be seen. It yeah. Anyway.
Give it a
So
shot.
if
Go
we-
for it.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
Good luck, don't die!
We'll come closer because he seemed to be able to go. I lost sight of him for a moment, so I feel like we can get a little closer, and that way you call out to us if.
There's trouble.
Let's just.
I can.
Trouble with a capital T.
I can do like a whistle or something if I need you guys.
I'll
probably
wait
will.
right here. All right, go on ahead.
I'll wait right back in this corner.
So I'm gonna have my shield and my crossbow out.
You can wield a shield and a crossbow?
No.
Shield? No, I'm sorry. My shield and my glaive. That's the one.
Correct. Yes. Cannot do. All right. So you got your shield and your glaive out. Make sure you adjust your AC accordingly. Okay. So you're stepping out into the cavern, and
I'd like to do so stealthily. So.
okay. Roll me stealth check, please.
Roll me a sneak.
Remind me what kind of armor you're wearing.
It's not enough that it's gonna make noise.
Okay, just making sure. So 15 stealth. Okay, so you're creeping. Okay, so as you're walking through, again, you come into that same room. You're starting the visions that you saw from his telepathic communication, the smells, the feelings. You're starting to see what he was talking about. You see again the field of corpses in this room. Another grand battle has taken place here. You see the water wheel and the bellows in the distance. As you kind of come up to here, you see the bellows in the distance, just barely in the edge of your vision, and a water wheel that is no longer turning, and what seems to be a forge that is long since the coals have stopped burning.
And I'd like to cast Divine Sense.
Okay, go ahead and cast Divine Sense. You see, as you're coming in and you're starting to do this divine sense, you see a moving point of light, of green light that is touching the walls and other places ahead of you. So as you're kind of taking in this, and the power kind of surges through you, start to your senses are heightened, and you begin to smell undeath in this room. You begin to identify that there is what's kind of hollow spell. What? Yes. So you see these forces, and now as you're kind of stepping forward into the room, you see a few things. You start to see, sense the presence of things around you begin to move. Some of the corpses.
Was that your alert?
It was just me in real life.
So some of the corpses, and you hear like this odd chattering, and just the sound of flames.
Yeah, I'm definitely whistling now.
As a flaming skull makes its way in your direction. So go ahead and roll me initiative, everyone.
All right.
All right.
Hey, everybody's back to normal.
Yes.
Can you mean by you rolling high?
Yep. No, stop. Preston, that's too many. No.
That's why I screamed.
That's why she squealed, because before they were just lifeless zombies, and she could have just gone by and been completely happy with life, but now she smells all of them and knows where they are. So.
Yeah, good idea to have one person go in there. Mm-hmm.
Ventina, are you okay?
Hey, you're needed. Come in here.
Can you make it back to us?
I think we're gonna have to face this.
There it is.
We
Sending.
can use the hall as a choke point. Think
Okay.
300.
So you hear the echoes, and as you guys down the hallway, you guys in the back start to see it grow stronger and stronger. This green light that is flickering against the walls.
And well, is there any way that I could cast something?
Depends on what it is. Right now we're in turn orders.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you see the flame skull as it kind of bobs closer and closer to where you're standing. The light getting stronger and stronger, and you see these red pinpoints of light begin to get larger from this arcane creature. So at this point, he is going to make a multi-attack at you, which is going to be a fire ray. So you see, does a 22 hit?
Yes.
So you see, as he kind of comes together, you see his eyes kind of coalesce, and the light that's in them come forward and come to a single point, as which a extension of just flame pierces through. You feel the burning pain as it goes through your shoulder, and you receive 12 fire damage. And you hear because it's flaming. Clandon, it's your turn. Oh, I'm sorry. The second attack is. The second attack was a 6. Does it hit?
No, that one doesn't.
Okay, so the first attack hits, and as you kind of feel that, you recoil, and he shoots another one, but he misses, and then the beams go back into each of his eye holes.
His eye holes is where
His
they
eye
came from.
holes.
Hey, I want a picture. You got a picture of this dude?
Yes, I do. See, this is a flaming... And he says, hey! If this is what Venfina is seeing currently.
Knight Rider lost his
He's
head.
just a skull head?
Mm-hmm. A flaming skull head.
Well, I thought he was more like person, not just
No.
head.
Just a floating head. go ahead, and it's Clandon's turn.
Alright, I'm gonna move forward a little bit here so I can see what's going on. Okay, I can see several zombies and the flying skull. I see one zombie that's potentially blocking her path to come back this way.
Yep. You do see him kind of getting up. They're all kind of laying on the ground, and at this point they're coming and pulling forward.
Is Scully floating? How high is he floating?
Right now he's about 5 or 6 feet off of the ground, so he's Venfina's body. Let's see, these guys are considered large? No, tiny. This is tiny. So at this point he has the skull itself has got cover from where you're standing.
Okay. And I was curious, I'm going to go ahead and ask this. My sec attack, does it have to be on the same entity that I attack first, or can I choose a different?
For which one again?
Like when I get a second attack.
Your second attack. No, you can attack anything else. As long as you take the attack action first, you can take a second attack action.
Gotcha. But I don't have a shot on Scully.
Correct. And to clarify, if you cast a spell, did we... I think it has to be an attack action with your bow. So if you cast a spell, that would be different. No, I say that's considered an attack, right? Casting a spell is an attack action. So as long as you take an attack action.
No, a bonus action. Like when I cast my spell last time, it was a bonus action.
As long as it's a bonus action, it's fine.
A spell.
Yeah.
Each spells change, yeah.
But that spell was a bonus action, so I'd still get my 2 attacks, right?
Yes, if you used a bonus action and then you used your action as an attack, yes, you could take a second attack action.
Okay. But casting spells as an attack does not count as an attack action, by the way.
Okay, so
because the spell says as an action you can do this.
Okay, perfect.
And that's your action.
So if you don't use your bow to shoot, you can't have the second action. So you can't like pop a healing potion then shoot.
Correct.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cast a Huntress this time.
Okay.
As my bonus action.
Okay.
Casting it on zombie number 1.
Okay. So zombie number 1 now has Hunter's mark on him.
I'm just a lonely zombie.
Then I'm going to go ahead and attack with my +1 longbow.
All right.
With my +1 arrow.
Arrowed.
As I draw back my bow, I yell, "Venfina, take out this one behind you."
Okay.
All right, and I lose it. Now I didn't do the +1 on it. I'm assuming it just +1 damage.
Yes, this is +1 to hit.
Okay.
For those ones. So like your AC, so if it's armor, if it's a +1 armor, that's +1 to your AC.
What about for that?
The +1, it's the +1 to hit, I believe.
To hit and damage, or is it just hit?
I believe it's just hit.
Oh, so that would be a 21 then, right?
Correct. And it and that's for the zombie. Does hit.
Yep. All right.
Does hit zombie. Yep. So you shoot, and the zombie kind of hits it, knocks it back a little bit, and he looks your direction instead of in Venfina's.
All right, so that's the 7 plus the 1 because of the arrow enchantment.
Okay.
So 8 plus the hunter's mark is, what is that? 1d6.
Okay. Roll your 1d6.
It is attack and damage.
Is attack and damage?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so that's good to know. So that's another 1 damage on top of that, so that's total of 13.
9. Yeah.
So 13 damage. So as you hit him, he's kind of getting up off his thing, and you feel that sickening sound of your arrow plunging into rotten flesh. As he kind of gets up, looks your way, and
Seriously, that guy rolled the highest.
yes, I know. All right, so we've got 100 mark. You've hit it, and then you have 1 more attack.
All right. Yeah, I'm going ahead and taking another one.
Okay. So he shoots. You shoot again. It does hit. Go ahead and roll damage, and then make sure and include all. So that's another 7 damage.
Same thing, another 9.
Woo!
Yeah. Nice.
Dude,
Okay, so you shoot the first arrow, and you see it sink, and then as it kind of turns up and looks towards you, you fire another arrow, and you hear like a, and then you see its head go bloop, and pop off, and as it falls back to the ground, and its head kind of takes a couple seconds, rolls across the floor, hits Venfina's heel, and just kind of goes and stops moving. It's dead.
Ankle biter.
Venfina, the way is clear if you want to try to make it back this way.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so next up on the shambling block, you.
How big is that furnace? Like, is it high? Like, what's its height?
It's big, so like the bellows itself, you've probably got I don't know, 2 or 3 feet below that bellows to get underneath it. Tallness wise, the actual bellows itself, I'd imagine probably 5 or 6 feet in height,
So
depending on if it's
guessing
expanded or
There's
collapsed.
there's no like walking over it. It's like you got to walk around that.
Either under it or you'd have to
Or
climb
under,
over it,
yeah.
one of the two, yeah.
Got it.
So at this point, this zombie, 5, 10, and then he's going to get under there and crawl on his belly. And it's going to be a
The zombie's crawling
disadvantage.
on his belly?
So you start seeing a zombie, Venfina.
Zombies don't do that unless they don't have legs.
He's kind of climbing through. You see him. He hasn't gotten up yet. He's the guy who's severed at the belly. He doesn't have his legs. He's
Crawl around.
and you see him kind of crawling through that way. So he takes his dash action to try and get there sooner. And he's only able to make it about here. As you see him kind of get a little more upright behind the flame skull. Next is Tiger Lily.
I don't. I'm in that.
Oh my goodness. So sorry. Apparently I walk back in and Steve's like, it's bad.
Everyone is going to die.
I lost my master.
He died.
Well, he's back in his.
The spirit place. Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering where he was. I was like, I don't see him. Did we like leave him behind
No.
in another room or
It was,
something?
it was like a
He was
1v12.
He was our spirit scout.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has really low health, so.
Yeah. You basically looked at him and...
If only we had some sort of glowing magical mace to help us fight these zombies.
I don't have a glowing magical mace.
I saw you put it away, Aurora.
What mace are you talking about?
We'll talk about this later.
Perfect. So Aurora, as they came into the room, Venfina was going ahead to see, and she encountered a lot of zombies and a flaming green skull. And so right now you guys are kind of the rear guard for it.
He's just a floating head, and he does stupid damage.
He's tiny. Yes, he's very small.
Alright, so what I'm gonna do 5, 10, 50. I'm gonna send Tiger Lily up
Okay.
to Biba and Fina. And I'm gonna yell ahead, Tiger Lily's coming to help you out.
Okay. So Tiger Lily bounds into action.
Thank you.
So this is going to be... How far she wanted to go? There's 40 feet
I
there.
think she can go that far.
Okay. She can take a dash action, but she won't be able to attack. So what does she want to do for her action? Is she going to defer and ready her action, or...
You said the skull was like floating like 15 feet off the ground.
No, it's like 5 feet. It's basically at eye level for Venfina. And it's the size of a human skull. It's on fire, and it's got red beady eyes.
After doing that, can I claw him? Or try to claw him?
Let's see.
Or is he like way too far up off the ground for me? I'd have to I'd have to do a pounce to claw, right?
I'm trying to find out. For some reason, they have him on here taking up 4 squares, but they say he's tiny, which should only occupy 5 feet of space.
It shouldn't even be like it should be like half of the square. Technically.
Yeah, it'd be tiny. I'm gonna say for this, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna squeeze him down a little bit, and we'll just put him right there. Itty bitty living space. So yes, she would be able to make if she wanted to try and pounce him and do the attack, she would be able to attempt that.
Is impermeable to being brown.
She can roll a intelligence check to see. I don't know. 13. She thinks that it might be similar from her experience, Tiger Lily, when she's thinking about this, that it might be similar, but it could also just be a skull that she can pin to the ground. She's not 100% sure, but she gets the sense that it does have a physical form. It is not like the specter that she saw before.
Alright, she's gonna try it.
Okay, so 13, and that is against... Where'd he go? Oh, it's over here. 13 just hits. So he needs to make a strength saving throw. 12. That's a 3. So he does not succeed. He is... Let me make sure. He is knocked prone. And at this point, she's able to basically push him down to the ground. He's knocked prone on the ground. As prone as a floating skull can be. So she's able to make her bite attack and her other attack. Close that, close that. There we go. So 8 piercing damage, okay? Well
She
done.
can do the bite and the claw?
Yes, because she succeeded on the DC 12, she can make 1 bite as a bonus action. So she gets to do 2 attacks. Okay, so that's going to be for 5. So the 8 was the bite, and then 5 for the slashing. Got it. Minus 5. So you see it kind of... is it kind of billowing on the floor. Tiger Lily's kind of got her head on the side of its skull as she's made her bite and slash attacks. Next up, a zombie is going to shamble up to the side of Tiger Lily and is going to attack her using its slam attack. That is a natural 20.
Yeah, that hits.
So that's going to be 5 bludgeoning damage. So he comes and he swings and just...
Wait! I want to do my reaction.
Okay, use your reaction. Go for it.
Before I put the...
I cast protection.
That's disadvantage, right?
I use my protection, yeah.
Okay, so he rolled a 16 on the disadvantage, so does a 16 hit. It was a 20 and a 16.
That would be the hit.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, so he kind of goes, and she doesn't quite get her shield in time to try and impose disadvantage on him, but so the slam still connects for 5 bludgeoning damage against Tiger Lily. Next zombie is going to shamble 5, 10, 15, 20. He's going to take half movement trying to push past this other zombie and use his dash action, and he's only going to make it to about here. Next, Venfina, your turn.
Well, I'm going to attack the skull head
Okay, go for it.
with my glaive.
You have advantage because he's prone.
Mm-hmm.
The tiny head is prone.
Yep.
I know, it doesn't make any sense, but he is prone.
Okay, I want to just poke it and see how much health he has.
Okay, poke it.
No, I'm
Poke
gonna
away.
attack it. But I'll use my divine smite.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one with my melee weapon. Except for it didn't do anything, I'm sure.
Okay, so
Roll twice. You have advantage.
correct. So roll again.
Oh, goody.
No, it does not. So you're going to use your divine smite, and as you're let's see, so that the
Wait, it has a +1. Does a 12 hit?
no, it does not. So you swing at this point you're using your glaive, correct? With the divine smite.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you're swinging at it, even though it's prone, you're afraid to hit Tiger Lily, and so you're kind of stabbing at it, but you're not able to make contact without damaging Tiger Lily, so you kind of back off on that. Other zombie, he's still on the floor. He's going to shamble. He makes it to about there. He's going to take half movement, and then he's going to just be able to make it to the other side of the bellows on his stomach. He is prone, both of these guys. So they are prone and prone. That's the end of his turn. Roland, it's your turn. Aurora, you're on deck.
Hey, hold on. I had an extra attack.
Okay, use your extra attack.
Alright. I'm gonna use my divine skin.
Okay, go ahead and use it again. Roll with advantage. He is prone.
Uh,
Just click it twice.
oh, there it is.
And what level are you casting Divine Smite at?
Oh, it's just at level 1.
Okay, just make sure you're marking it off that it.
Yeah, I did it twice. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So an advantage 22 does hit. Go ahead and roll for damage. And then this is one undead, so it does include the right hand damage, so that's 15.
By the way, it only consumes a spell slot if you hit. Basically, the Divine Smite activates when you hit with the melee attack. So.
Oh, okay.
So that would be one level 1 spell slot consumed, not 2.
Cool. I love it. Thank you.
So you stab the first time, you don't quite connect. The second time you stab in, at this point, you feel as it connects, you just release that holy energy as it just blasts. And you see this blinding flash of light as this radiant energy seems to crack and like move through it, and you see the skull kind of recoil in irritation.
I say, be gone, evil flame head.
Aurora, it's your turn.
Did we miss my turn?
Oh no, I'm sorry. It is Roland. I'm sorry. Becca had me off track.
Sorry.
I could. I mean, I could
No,
just
it's your turn.
not take a turn if you
It's your
want.
turn.
I'll just leave. Fine.
I got my
So I'm gonna move
sidetracked.
up 2 squares to get my view of everything and finally see all the zombies. Holy crap, that's a lot of zombies.
One of them's dead.
I'm gonna move right to here.
Okay.
I can see the skull, right?
Right now, I believe it would be covered because it is tiny. But Tiger Lily was pounced on top of it, and then you got Vinfina in front of you as well.
Okay, in that case, I am going to target the zombie that's attacking Tiger Lily.
Okay. So you see it as it swings and slams into her. You.
Now, question. I have my sword in one hand and the torch in the other, but technically my holy symbol is on my shield.
Okay.
Do I have to have my shield out, or does it just have to be on my person?
I would say.
Because what I want to, so
I'd say it'd have to
here's
be
what
just
it
be on your
says.
person, because I don't know that you necessarily have to have it in your hand for it to be functional.
Okay. And here's what it is. I'm actually going to cast Sacred Flame here.
Okay.
On the zombie itself, and I'm actually going to thrust the torch forward, and this green jet of flame is going to burst out from it, and it's going to be crackling with Gon's white lightning.
Okay.
So he has to make a dexterity saving throw.
All right, Dex throws.
Oh, the target gains no benefit from cover. I didn't see that.
That's a good distinction. So he rolled a 16. And
So
an,
I don't know. I think for spells, I think it's combined level.
Okay. For you're talking about for your DC?
No, I think it's So it does increase damage.
When you reach 5th
if
level.
I'm at a specific levels.
Yes, 5th
Let me
level
see,
it's
you can't
2d8.
choose your character level or class level. I just want to make sure.
Good question. That is a good distinction. It's. I would probably think it would be the class level.
Yeah, for example, Barbarian 2, Cleric 3 casts at a 5th level. Okay, so it is a combined level.
It is a combined level. Okay, so you're
Yep.
2d8. Go ahead and roll for damage.
So 5 radiant damage.
Okay.
I think, right?
Yeah, Sacred Flame.
Yep, radiant.
So -5. So you see as this flame engulfs the zombie right after it slams, and you just see it blast across its chest as parts of its old gnarled hair. This particular zombie seems to be of gnomish descent in some form or fashion. You see some of its hair start to again burn away into cinders, and it looks in your way. Aurora, it's your turn. Unless you got anything else, Roland.
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna move as far as I can.
Okay.
All right, I think that's 30 here.
So if you're moving 30, it would be about there.
Okay. I am going to shoot at the zombie that's attacking Tiger Lily as well.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack. Okay, so 10. The zombie does hit. Piercing. That's 10k. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. There we go. So you see it connect. You have a second attack if you like. And you might also have spells if you have any of those spells you wanted to use on hit effects.
I have spells, but I don't have the ingredients, so I have to buy the ingredients when we get into town.
Okay. Sounds good. I think we ruled... Yeah. If we want, you can also get a component pouch, just as a note. That will make it so you don't necessarily have to...
You don't have to buy
It's a
like...
component pouch.
So basically, instead of like 10 wings of bats that you buy individually, it's just kind of a component pouch that has a bunch of stuff that you need in it for inconsequential spell effects.
Yep. The only thing it wouldn't have is like stuff like a 100 gold pearl, or those are what they're named with values. Okay, so that's another 9 piercing damage. So you hit again as he hits, and you connect again. This one hits right where his heart would normally be. You see him kind of stumble back and fall as he rolls a Constitution save, because I didn't do that on the other one. You see him. So that last damage was 9 piercing damage. It's got to be plus 5 the damage taken, so that's good. 9, 14. So it just makes it, you see it kind of become lifeless, but it pulls itself back up standing, barely holding on to its thread of life. Okay, so that's second
I'm good,
attack.
no bonus.
Alright, so this other zombie comes, and he's going to shamble forward, so 10, 5, 10, 15, 20. He's coming towards Aurora, and he's going to use his dash action to basically get right up in your face. He will not make an attack, that's the end of his turn. Next zombie is going to do 5, 10, 15, 20. Drops to his belly, and uses his dash action with half movement. 10, 20. So he's able to get right there, kind of crawling out with the rest of them by the bellows. Oh crap! There's just one guy that eluded me. He's way up here. Okay, layer. Let me get him in there real quick. One moment. He's gonna go very last. Objects. Initiative. Him at a 0. Okay. He's in there. So he's also going to go 5, 10, 15, 20. Gets right here. 5, 10. Drops down to his belly and only goes one more square. As he comes forward. So the Flame Skull, he is going to make sure that the lasting effects on the pounce. He's going to use his movement to get back up from being prone. And so he's gonna kind of float in front of you. And at this point, you're gonna hear just these, and you see this kind of sigil or runic thing on his forehead begin to form, and from it spews forth a fireball that's going to hit right here. Get it rolled first. The what? Not coming through. Alright, we'll just do it. I'll do it from over here. So, it's a 20-foot radius. Everything in the square draw shape. So, 5, 10, 5, 10, 20. So, it's going to hit everything right here. He's basically going to hit it right in the middle of it. You see this fireball just erupt in the room. This just eviscerates anything in there. So that zombie's going to take damage. This is going to be... I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw. Specifically, Tiger Lily, Venfina, and Aurora. Zombie's also going to make one. And that's going to be 8d6. Roll 8d6. Plus his... spell modifier.
What the hell?
Goes to 0. So he doesn't have a spell modifier, so he's got nothing. Alright, so... You guys see as this just erupts into just chaos. You see dexterity saves, so Aurora doesn't...
Cast protection if anyone gets it.
Okay. Is that a reaction?
Yeah, it's a reaction as well.
Okay, go ahead and put it on Tiger Lily if you want.
I
Aurora...
think protect only works against attacks specifically, not saving throws.
It says if I see a creature that gets attacked.
Yeah, so this isn't
Spells
an attack. This is a saving throw, so it's different, unfortunately.
So you see this just all throughout. The zombie does not make it. Aurora doesn't make it. Venfina doesn't make it. Basically, and Tiger Lily also does not make it. So everyone in there
What's
is
the damage?
It is going to be 38 points of damage. Fire damage.
Whoa!
Yeah, Tiger Lily and I are dead.
Okay, so these two fall unconscious. You see the cinders.
Yeah, I do
Not
too.
down.
This zombie just completely turns to ash and disappears. So we've got 3, 4 unconscious. You guys fall to the ground on there. Clandid, you see this from the back of the room as the flame erupts. All you see is just the silhouettes of falling corpses, and all that's left that you can see from your perspective is just cinders of people standing, or you see your compatriots laying unconscious on the ground. The flame skull, you hear it cackle in the distance.
And it's my turn.
It is your turn.
The tiny head.
Alright, so when someone's unconscious, you can heal them, right?
Yes, you can. You do a medicine check to heal them, or you can give them a potion. The potion would be using a full
Only
action.
a potion or a medicine check?
One of those two.
can't
Unless
use
you
my
have
heal
spell.
spirit.
You can use healing. Yes, healing spirit would work because it's the same as using healing word or
Okay.
anything else.
Alright, this is tricky. Dang, well, I'm gonna lose my hunter's mark, but I think it's more important to heal people. Alright. Wow. That just happened.
Seriously.
I'm
Seriously.
my adrenaline's really pumping now. I'm scared. I'm scared for my companions. First things I'm gonna do is, out of concern for them, I'm going to go ahead and cast my healing spirit.
Okay. Is it taking the form of a hawk again?
Yeah, I like that form.
You hear this. You see this spirit coalesce into the form of the thing. Where are you casting it at? Where's the origin?
Let's see. Range is 60. How far is Vinfina from me?
You can click here.
No, actually.
35 feet is the furthest one from you. 60 feet goes all the way to the bellows.
Hey, can you
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to
can you go
Vinfina.
negative points
What?
And
down below 0?
No, you don't take negative points. So if it was if the damage was enough to double basically your full health in damage in negative, then it would be a permanent death. But if it's negative, then it doesn't complete your entire, it's not your entire health's worth in negative, then you just go, you're at 0. It's not like it's compounds.
all right, did you get that?
I'm
It's
okay, but
it's
is
it's
Tiger
going to
Lily okay?
Vinfina.
Okay, so it's going to Vinfina. Got it?
And
Oh.
so it's gonna go ahead and get the. I'm gonna roll 1d6 to see how much it'll heal her.
Okay. So we're gonna put the. I'm gonna make it just a circle or something. Hand shape. We're gonna make it a blue spirit. Okay.
Make it blue.
It's blue. Make it blue. Make it pink. Make it blue. Right. So, Vinfina, as you felt this blast coming from behind you, and you're starting to fall forward, you feel, as your arms and legs hit the ground, your vision starts to darken, but then it flickers and comes back. You have 3 hit points.
Woohoo!
As
Now,
you,
is she on the ground? Like, did she just wake up and she's still on the ground?
this would be she'd be prone at this point, because when you fall
Okay.
unconscious, you're
That's what I figured.
out. Yeah. So she is. You have 3 hit points, but you are prone.
Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead and move a little. Well, from here, is Roland blocking my shot from the Scully?
He would have probably half cover from where you're standing, so you could shoot at him, but he's gonna have.
Alright, but if I move, I can move forward though, right?
Yeah, you can move forward.
I'm gonna go ahead and move forward to here, which I think would give me a better shot.
Okay.
But before that, again, with everything that just happened,
Oh,
snapped
your
in my
hunter's.
head.
As a reminder, your hunter's mark after you killed that zombie, I believe you can move it to someone else.
Yeah, but I would have had to use my bonus action to use that. That's why I said I was
Okay,
gonna
got it,
sacrifice
got it.
my hunter's mark so
Just
that I
making
could heal.
Okay.
Yeah, I was sad about that, but I'm glad to be able to get some heals. Anyways, so I'm gonna recall the many times and moments like this where that surge of power came in trying to get a better hold on this you know this strange power that occasionally comes, and I start to concentrate inwardly in an attempt to summon the power. And as I concentrate on the image of the tattoo that's on my back, I'm gonna draw forth the I forgot the name of the power. I gotta look it up. I'm still not used to this. My Planar Warrior. I activate Planar Warrior.
Okay. Go ahead and.
Yeah, I'll copy the text in there so we've got a copy of that.
Okay.
Ah, freak! It's a bonus action. Never mind. I'll go ahead and put it in there, but I'm not gonna be able to do that. Yeah, can't do that. Never mind. I pushed that power back in.
Rescind that. I choose you. Just kidding.
All right, then I'm gonna attack with the +1 longbow at Scully here.
Okay.
I know this is probably gonna draw his attention if
Okay.
I get him anyway.
So he's got 3/4 cover.
He's got 3/4?
Or half cover, I'm sorry.
I thought moving up would help with that.
So right now you've got the body... Yeah, okay, Roland's not in the way. Yes, you can see him.
Okay.
Go ahead and
Not in
shoot.
the way. I'm not in the way.
Yeah, you're not in the way, so go ahead and shoot without
Oh,
just regular.
come on!
So you're kind of like feeling this power of the ebb and flow, and as you fire... Just kidding. I'm not gonna hit Benfina.
You're gonna throw a
No.
Tiger Lily. No.
Although that would be
You're
very
prone.
comical.
You shouldn't be able to hit us.
Although he'd be very comical, you shoot, and the arrow kind of goes off into the distance, and just mark that down as an unrecoverable arrow.
Alright, got it. Alright, let's give that another shot.
Benfina comes up, and then down back again. Just kidding.
I'm alive.
I'm assuming 21 hit.
21 hits for sure.
You just say, I'm a llama again.
I'm a
Wait,
llama.
it's 22. So that would be 10 piercing damage.
Okay, nice one. Okay, got it. So you
And,
see as it...
And that ends my turn. Did I chip his skull?
You see a few teeth missing, yeah.
Alright.
You're not sure if they were missing before, but they are missing now. So next zombie, he's going to shamble up. And, let's see, it's 5, 10... He's going to come over here. And what he's going to do... He's going to attempt right here. He's going to try and grapple against Benfina. So go ahead and make a strength saving throw for me, please. He's going to basically throw himself on you. He's going to try and keep you
The
prone.
little tiny head?
No, this is the zombie.
Okay.
I'm going to guess a 3 probably. If you roll higher than a 3, then he does not succeed. Strength save, yeah. This is a contest.
Yeah, I got 3 advantage on.
4. So, yes.
A 4 is good.
Jeez,
You are
just
so
barely.
tired, but as he kind of throws himself at you, you just kind of push him off to the side, and you do not succumb to his wily ways. Tiger Lily, go ahead and make a. She is. Let's see. So within the 5-foot space right now, your thing is right above Benfina. Is it a 5-foot radius, or is it a 5-foot? Is it when it's in its 5-foot in its space specifically? 5-foot cube.
Wait, what?
So it's your space. Okay, I'm just trying to see if Tiger Lily would be healed. She's not. She's just... The bird is outside of her healing radius. So go ahead and make a death saving throw for Tiger Lily. So roll a d20, and if it's above a 10, then it succeeds. This is actually right here. Put it right there.
You're good.
All right, she's good. Go ahead and mark her as one successful saving throw. Okay, zombie that's in front of everything.
Probably
He is going to shamble past the ashes. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, right up to Roland, and he's going to make a slam attack.
Oh,
Quick question. Would that have been a scenario where I could have used inspiration to get it like an additional bonus action?
Not an additional bonus action. You would use inspiration to negate disadvantage or give yourself advantage.
Ah, got it. Okay.
So that is a 13. Does it hit?
no.
Okay. So he swings at you, and you just deflect it out of the way. So this next zombie...
I deflect his hand with my torch.
Okay, so this next zombie kind of comes up behind the other line of zombies. He
That
looks...
counts one torch.
He looks down at him, and he goes... And kind of... He's going to step forward further, using his dash action. And that's the end of his turn. Benfina, it is your turn. You have 3 hit points.
Gets another 2 health.
Perfect. 2 health. So go ahead and add that.
I got 5.
Have 5 total.
Well, does using my lay on hands count? It counts as an action. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to use my lay on hands. And on Tiger Lily.
Okay. So you reach over, and you're in this desperate moment, and you grab
I
the
give
fur.
him 10 hit points.
And she has 10 hit points now.
And then I'm gonna cast.
Okay.
I'm going to cast sleep.
Okay, go ahead and roll the spell.
I'm going to fall asleep.
Sleep. You will all sleep.
Oh, there.
Huh? Okay, so we got 24. So sleep, as I recall, it takes 24 and it goes from the lowest health and then goes up to the higher ones, correct? Or does it start with the higher and go lower?
Lower than higher.
Lower than higher. Okay, so everything with lower health goes and it goes to sleep up until that point. So you cast this. Where's the point of origin for this? Is 90-foot radius. It's a 90-foot radius or casting?
From here, I'll post it.
Is it everybody or is it just for your enemies?
Oh, just for where I started.
It is everyone in that sphere, I believe. But let me double check. Spells.
Hit points. Creatures within 20 feet of a point you choose are affected in ascending order. So yeah, it's a creature.
Yep.
So it's whatever creatures are in the area.
Okay.
But it doesn't say if it's a... Let me look at this.
Okay, go ahead. Okay. So you cast the spell, and are you casting the spell, or are you doing a check?
Oh, I'm just checking on D&D Beyond to see what shape it comes out in.
I think it's just everything within 20 feet of it. So that would be just like
So point wherever. So you put it
So I
there.
don't know.
So you throw it. You see this kind of a crystalline mist that just kind of comes out from this area, and you see everything in the area kind of breathing deeply. And that was right here, correct? I was not seeing when you.
Oh, so I can cast it at whatever point, and then that
Yes.
sphere is 90. Oh, okay. So it doesn't have to be from me as an origin. Okay, good.
Yeah,
No,
so
no.
it's anywhere within 90 feet from you, and then it creates a
20-foot sphere.
a point, and then 20-foot sphere from it.
Yes, then I will get all of these folks in it. So
Points. So the creature has low
So
hit
you
points.
probably
Each
wanna
creature
put
affected
it
by the spell
right
falls unconscious.
here.
The spell ends. The sleeper takes damage.
yeah, I want to get the skull in it.
Yeah, so if you put it right here, you'll avoid hitting yourself with it. Because it's any creature in the area.
Close to me, but not hitting me, obviously.
Yeah, so that can be done.
And done.
Okay, I'm just making sure. So is this? This is where I'm trying to make sure I have clarity on this. When it puts them to sleep, it rolls the hit points now. I believe so. You rolled a 24. That would mean anything with starting with the lowest. If it has 24 health or below, that will fall asleep. And then
Yeah,
the carryover
so
number
basically-
would go to the next one, and if it's greater than their health, they would fall asleep. Correct?
Yeah, so basically it goes to the lowest health, and then that creature falls asleep, and it takes off a total number of the dice that were rolled. So, for example, if a creature has 5 health, and it takes off 5 points from that 24, giving 19, and
That's
then the
what I thought.
19 moves up to the next highest creature.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, so this guy is now
Someone
sleeping.
uses an action to shake or slap the slipper.
Quit shooting the zombies.
Wake up! Alright, so this zombie right here, he has fallen asleep. We'll just use that skull icon. You see as this continues to go through and around, the rest of the zombies and the skull in the area does not seem to take effect on them, but that guy is asleep.
I want the skull.
He's not the lowest health. Yep, starts with the lowest, which is zombies.
Wait, so that zombie took the brunt of the sleep damage? Oh.
Zombies have 22 hit points. Not that you know that, because that's metagaming.
Whatever. One is down.
Okay, so he's sleeping at this point. Alright, Vinfina, anything else?
Probably. Hold on.
Probably.
10 seconds. 9, 8,
Stand up, stand up, stand up.
Oh yeah. I can't stand up.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
You
can
can.
because it's part of my movement, right?
Yes.
Shoot, yeah, I'm standing up.
2. Anything else? 1.
I'd like to cast. No.
All
No.
right.
I'm going to
Because
stay.
you did lay on hands, a move, and
Yes.
sleep. So I think
So I
that's
think
all your
that's it.
actions.
Yep. So this zombie is going to uses half its movement to stand up. This guy's not prone anymore. So he is going to move 10 feet.
There's Benfina. Take the crown off Benfina.
Prone. Think. All right, there you go.
Gone prone.
Be gone. And that's the end of that zombie's turn. Roland, it is your turn. Aurora's on deck.
Okay, so I am going to move over Venfina to here.
Okay.
So it's precarious, but I'm not taking any opportunity attacks.
Correct.
I'm going to, and then I'm going to bring the torch around, and I'm going to kind of curve it an arc as I shout, "Be gone, fiends!" And I'm casting Turn Undead.
Okay.
Ooh.
So as an action, you can censure fiends and undead, not or. Each fiend or undead that you can see or hear you within 30 feet must make a Wisdom saving throw. DC's 14. On a failure, they must use their turn, and I'll post what turn it is here.
Okay. So it's basically everything except for the zombie in the back would be affected by this.
Yep. So a turn creature must spend its turn moving as far away from you as it can. It can't willingly move into a space within 30 feet of you. It also can't take reactions. For its action, it can only use the dash action or try to escape from the effect that prevents it from moving.
Okay.
And it doesn't say that there's any save after it.
There's no
fails to save,
saves. So these
it's
all.
just
What's
for a
the save
minute.
on it? What's
It's a 14.
a 14? Okay.
Wisdom 14.
I'll be back.
Give me a second, and I will rule for everything as their own. Wisdom saving throw. So I got to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zombies. Where's number 4? Zombie 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So the skull rolls a 3.
Nice.
So he does not succeed. So I'm going to put the turn on him. He's going to be random. Blah. He's got an eyeball on him. Next one, I'm going to go from right to left. We've got a 14. What was the DC?
Okay, so that's a succeed.
So he succeeds. He doesn't turn and run. The next one to his left was a 17. Succeeds.
Okay.
Next one to the left from there, right here, he rolled a 10. So he's turned.
Okay.
So let's give the bleeding eye zombie.
Yeah, because the two that I wanted right next to me were definitely the ones that I wanted right next to me. Didn't want them turned at all.
Okay, perfect. And then the I know, right? And then the other one rolled a 4, so he is also turned.
He's crawling back under.
Just going out here. I'm going out of here. Yeah. Yeah. So he's good. Now so we just for its action trying to
And
escape
then
the effect. What's the and
as a
so they have
bonus
to
action-
escape the radius, right?
Yeah, they have to move 30 feet.
Even if their
Try to move
movement's
as far away
25.
from me as they can,
Okay.
and they can't move within 30 feet of me.
Okay,
They
cool.
can't take reactions.
Okay, cool.
And that lasts for a minute.
Roger, roger. Okay, so those
Or
guys
until
are
it takes
returned will
damage.
run away. Got it. All right.
Yep.
So there's yours.
And then
That's the bonus
as a
action,
bonus
right?
action. Yep, as
Okay.
a bonus. That was actually my action.
Okay.
As a bonus action, I am going to use.
Is that the eye symbol? The
Eye
turn
symbol.
thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to point the torch down at Aurora's form, and I'll go rise and cast Healing Word.
Okay.
He really likes that torch.
she catches fire. No, I'm just kidding.
This girl is on fire.
Literally.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Hang on. I add my spellcasting modifier to it. So
Wait,
It's a
Cut-
3.
since you pointed the torch, is that +1?
Not for spell casting abilities. For an attack, if he wants to attack her with it, sure.
spell bonus. It's +2, so that's 3.
So you regain 3 hit points, and Aurora, you feel as you come back, you feel the charred just feelings, just everything on you just hurts, and the surface of your skin starts to heal up, and you come back to consciousness, but you are definitely feeling that.
Feeling the burn.
Okay, anything else, Roland?
Nope, that is it.
Aurora, you're up to bat.
Am I still down or am I up?
You are prone, but you are awake.
Okay, then I'm gonna get up.
Okay, so you use half your movement to stand up.
I'm gonna cast healing on hands on myself.
Okay.
And I don't know how to do that.
Okay, so in the spells, if you go in the spells section of your thing, you should be able to just click on it. On the main page, not on the spells tab. The spells tab will show like your spell book. You see one in your actions list? If not, just go ahead and go to your spells tab, and then you can click on it and then roll manually whatever healing it does. But it should, when you click it, it should pop up and say, what level do you want to cast this at? Is that showing up? There you go, Cure Wounds. Okay, so go ahead and roll a 1d8. Your spellcasting modifier should be on the spells page, up at the top. Do you see that? Spell save is 13. Is your spell attack bonus is +5. Your core, what is your intent? It's 2.
Preston, are you controlling my computer?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that it... I'll close it. Sorry. My bad. My bad.
That's fine. I was just like, somebody's doing it.
I forgot that whenever you're in there, I screw with stuff. It messes it up. So go ahead and roll a 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier. Unless you're casting it at a higher level. But I don't... You only have a level... Is it level 2? Level 1? 1 minute. I'll find out for you. Ranger...
What's the spellcasting modifier?
Your spellcasting modifier is going to be...
Is that where it says spell attack bonus?
He's typing.
Roland is.
That's right.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
It's okay. Aurora, you. Okay. So D20, roll 20, I think does a little bit better job of showing it. When I click on it, we have your
Got a lot of notes.
It is a +2. Is what your spellcasting modifier is. So your spellcasting modifier is for yours is wisdom, which is right now your modifier for wisdom is +2. So roll a 1d8 +2. Unless you cast it at a higher level. Looks like you can cast it up to the 2nd level. You have 2nd level spells. And if you cast it at a higher level, you'll just do an additional 1d8. So that's 4 hit points. So as you kind of cast this healing word on yourself, what is the word that brings this healing into your... Becca says, "Don't die." Ah.
That's a 2-word one.
It goes Any of those will work.
Perfect.
Like, we had a baby eats boy.
You had a baby eats a boy. Okay, so that's your action. Do you have any bonus actions you want to take?
No.
Okay, so this zombie's did. Zombie, the one that's on the bellows, he's going to crawl forward with disadvantage and basically just get to there. He will use his dash action. You stand up and take a step forward, and that's his action. Other zombie, he is currently within 30 feet of you, Roland, right? 30. So he needs to go as far as he can to get out of that. Which is basically, he's going to hide under the bellows. So he said, screw this, I'm going to GTFO. this flame skull, he is also going to turn and run, and there's going to be an opportunity attack from both Venfina and from the panther. Tiger Lily.
What is the little eyeball?
It means he's turned undead. That means they all have to flee from his presence within 30 feet.
Oh yeah.
So go ahead and make Venfina and Tiger Lily, both of you make an opportunity attack, please.
And is it just a one attack, or
Just
is
a regular
it our
attack.
attack of 2 that we usually do?
Just a regular attack.
Okay.
If you do attack it, the turn's gonna go away.
What turn?
Turn
What do you
undead.
mean?
So
The
the turn
effect of
undead
turn
that I did only lasts until it's attacked.
So you can choose to attack it and take your attack of opportunity or not. That's up to you.
Well, and if I take my attack of opportunity, does it have to be on that?
Yes, on whatever's leaving. Because essentially he is turning his back to you, but the other ones haven't done that. So you can't just like, I'm going to attack this other guy instead. It's that one specific guy.
Well, who gets to go first, Tiger Lily or me?
I'm not going to.
Tiger Lily holds her action. She kind of snarls and pulls back, and seeing that he's turning tail and running. What does Venfina do?
Let me see. Can I use... So it has to be an attack. It can't be just like me doing something as
You
an
are
action.
correct. It's not. This doesn't give you an action. It just gives you an attack against him. Unless you have like, so for instance, if you wanted to cast a spell at him, you would have to have the Warcaster feat to be able to do that. So you can only, like, if he's getting away from you, you're gonna really quickly swing at him with your glaive.
So
or
if I
let him go.
hit him, I couldn't use my Divine Smite as well to amplify that.
I believe,
Well, technically, yeah.
technically you could use it, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna use that with my glaive.
All right. Go ahead and roll your attack. And if it connects, then you could do Divine Smite. So 17 does hit. Roll for damage. So that's 15, 36. So it's +6 because it is undead. And since it's lightning, this is thunder damage. Okay. As it comes through, you see the flame skull as it kind of turns and bobbles. It looks in your way, and it looks over at Roland. And at this point, you see it forcibly turn its head and start to walk away from you. And you stab with your glaive, and you just feel again. It's another one of these. The pierce happens first, and then like a sonic boom, you see just the skull's parts just out the other side, and the flame is extinguished into nothingness.
Nice.
Hurrah!
Sweet. Stabbed him in the back. Ugh.
With my favorite caster. Just kidding. Clandon, it's your turn.
Fucker was.
All right.
Okay, and the other guy still has it because we haven't attacked him. The eyeball thing.
You
Or
just
the
Correct.
look- No, the look away.
Correct. These guys
These
both
turns.
still have it. There's only 2 of them that still have the effects of turn undead.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and sidestep over here.
Okay.
I get a clear view of these zombies in front of me. Cue the dramatic scene that the Planet Warrior activates this time.
It was really cool, and now it's actually happening.
It was charging. It was biding your time, just like in Pokemon, you know?
Is that little hot guy healing people still?
He's still with you.
He
I'm gonna
heals
leave him there.
whenever you start your turn. He heals whoever's in his radius. Yep. Whoever's in his sphere of influence, which is 5 foot cube.
Since Sarah healed herself on top of Roland's heals, her health is looking a little better than yours,
Okay.
so I'm gonna leave him
Well,
with you.
can he scoot over and could he hit both me and Tiger Lily at the same time?
I think we decided last time that he can only really
Occupy
fill
one.
a single person spot at a
I
time.
mean, technically, yeah, you'd be able to stick them between two, but just for the semantics of the game,
yeah.
it's a 5-foot
I don't,
cube.
I don't think
Okay,
I did that. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and draw my bow again and
Okay.
attack this first zombie in front of me.
So you feel as that emanating glow begins to pulse from beneath your cloak, and you feel the energy enter into your shot. Don't forget that it is a +1 to your attack and to your damage.
Yeah, so
that's
that's a
14.
14.
Which one are you hitting?
That first one right in front of me.
Does hit. Roll for damage. And add the +1.
So 6 plus my 1d8.
-4. Okay, so the planar warrior, you feel as the energy expulses and you fire, and it hits not as strongly as you wanted to, but it definitely you see it recoil from the side and be pushed with the force of the arrow. What's your second attack?
Let's see, would the planar warrior affect the second one?
Does it shoot through?
No,
I don't have
sorry,
it in front of me.
Second attack. My second attack.
Post it real quick for me. I don't have it in front of me. I can pull it up. Planar warrior.
No, I got it.
Bonus action. One creature you can see next. It's next time you hit that creature on this turn with a weapon attack. So on this turn, you will get, it will be force damage first and foremost, and then they'll extra 1d8. So your entire turn is what this reads as.
So, yes.
Yes. Your second attack
Okay.
would also gain the benefit of Planar Warrior. 22 does hit. Roll for damage. 11 piercing damage plus
12 piercing damage. Plus 5.
Okay, plus 5. So you hit, and he is going to make a Constitution saving throw. And you see as this energy just this purpley blackish planar energy just kind of rips through him, and he falls down. Constitution saving throw. That is 11 piercing damage plus 5. That's going to be 16. He rolled a 17. So he... Wait, no. You have the planar damage warrior as well. So you see as the light in his eyes just... when he falls lifeless, limp on the floor.
Nice.
He's dead. Okay, next zombie. He is asleep. And he does not make any saving throws, if I remember correctly.
What's the skull on that one?
He's sleeping.
Oh, okay. He's prone and asleep.
Yeah, he's prone and sleeping currently. Where did sleep go? Healing, Cure Wounds, Benfina, Divine Smite. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just checking to make sure he doesn't have to do a
Yeah, like a
Constitution saving to wake up.
I had a 24. Spell sense.
I believe its effects last for 1 minute. Yeah, so it's unconscious until it's hit. Yeah, so he doesn't have the save. He doesn't have a save. Okay, so that's instantly, his turn is done. Tiger Lily, it's her turn. Next up, Benfina after 2 zombies.
Okay, she is gonna get up.
Correct. These undead creatures are not immune, unfortunately. The other guy was immune to being charmed. Well, does that include all undead?
I don't know.
Undead and creatures immune to being charmed. I read it as
Undead,
it's undead and undead, comma, and
charmed.
all right. Well, he is not asleep.
Dude, don't take it away when you were to me.
He's not asleep. He realized, wait a second. I've been not sleeping for thousands of years. Why am I sleeping now? And then he is going to try and grapple you again. That's a good
Me?
distinction. I speed read that as undead, comma, creatures were that makes sense. So, if we got it here, he's going to attack you.
Me?
Or to make a strength check.
God, he's prone though.
understand.
Wait, I thought it was my turn.
Right now. No, it's zombies. You're after Roland. It's Tiger Lilies after this zombie. So the problem was that we realized an error in sleep. It does not affect undead.
Oh, bummer.
So slam attack.
I know.
Or I'm sorry, not slam attack. Strength check. Clicking the wrong stuff here. Trying to do too many things at the same time. 15. Go ahead and roll, Venfina, and if you get greater than a 15 on your strength check, then you will thwart his grapple. He's basically just like
Strength.
trying to keep you restrained. It's a strength check. Just roll straight flat strength. That's a 2. Okay, so at this point you are grappled by him. So he stands up, no longer prone, grabs onto you, and at this point you're still a little bit kind of winded at the whole experience, and has hold of you. So I'm gonna say, so you're not able to move. Get this guy. Let's say he's, I don't know, move him closer. I remember. There we go. Tiger Lily, it's your turn. She is prone currently, so she can use half her movement to stand up.
Yes, she's gonna stand up.
Okay.
And then go up to this zombie.
Okay.
And attack.
Okay, go ahead and roll her attack. This one, since it's not greater than 20 feet, it'll just be her claw attack. So 7 does not hit, so she kind of swipes, and no damage is done. Now, does the effect last if it's damaged? It's negated if it's damaged, right?
What?
Roland, if you're talking, I can't hear you. Sorry, how long have I been muted for?
I don't know.
I don't remember that.
I haven't heard you clicking for a while, so.
All right, yeah, so it's only when they take damage.
Okay, so he did not take damage. Okay, so he's still under the effect of that. So that moves. Is Tiger Lily using any of her movement?
Is she what?
Is she going to use any movement or anything else?
No.
Okay, so this zombie is dead. This next zombie is going to use a slam attack against Roland. 11.
Bring it on.
So he swings down, and you're able to push it off using the just nothing. You ain't got nothing on this. So Venfina, it's your turn.
All right, so I get out of grapple.
You're gonna do a strength check, and he's gonna do a strength check. It's a contest. 15. You gotta beat a 15. 8. So right now you're struggling, and you're kind of not able to break the grapple. Do you have any bonus actions?
Yeah, can I face step out of it?
5 health.
Yeah, you're gonna take 5. So go ahead and add 5 health because you started your turn inside of the eagle or the hawk.
Hawk.
And you're going. If you wanted to, yeah, you. What is the components for your face step? Is it just verbal? Is there somatic? Because if there's somatic, it might be a little difficult. But if there's just a verbal component,
it's a racial
I don't see
trait
why not.
for me. So.
So go to here. Should say on the spell itself.
It's not a spell though because of my race.
I know, but technically it's a spell and it has.
It is, but it's.
Okay, teleportation. It's basically Misty Step, and it requires just verbal components. So yeah, I'd say he doesn't have hold of your mouth. You could cast Misty Step if you wanted.
Well, I'm doing that then.
I don't see any reason why that wouldn't work. So.
All right. Well, I'm gonna Misty Step over.
So he's holding on to you,
Here.
squeezing as tight as he can, and then suddenly, you're in winter form, autumn form. What?
Yeah, I'm still in winter.
So he just see this like puff of snow just, As he kind of looks around
Can I
confused.
teleport anything with me?
No.
Okay. I don't know if the hawk would come with me or not.
Just your armor.
Right? So your speed is restored. You do have the ability to move, but that's pretty much all you have unless to turn. Do you have anything you want to walk?
Oh, so I don't have any more actions, you're saying?
You used your bonus your action was that contest of strength, and then you used your bonus action to get away.
Right, but I have 2.
Only if you is it predicated on taking an attack action?
I said I have 2 actions.
That's what I'm asking.
I don't know.
Is the action based on like the ranger? It's based on taking an attack. Paladin class. Quick build. This is going to be for your featured both conquest. Extra attack. Here it is. Beginning at 5th level, you can attack twice instead of 1 whenever you take the attack action on your turn. You did not take the attack action. So, yep. So that's everything. But you do still have movement if you want to use it. Okay.
What is that guy?
Underneath that's Roland standing on top of the zombie.
He's on top of a zombie.
Corpse. Yeah. He's doing it, Ash Day of the Dead style.
And then Aurora's the one to the right of him.
Correct. Clandon is the one further back, and then you've got Tiger Lily right there.
All right. Well, I will move nowhere. I'm gonna stay there.
Okay. The zombie's going to shamble away. 10 or 5, 10. He's going to drop to his knees and shamble. He's going to use his dash action to get away. And he is going to basically just hang out right here on the periphery of stuff. Roland, it's your turn. Aurora, you're on deck.
Well, all right. So I've got one guy in front of me.
It broke up on me a little bit, so you're going to use your longsword. It hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
And I'm actually going to use Divine Smite.
Okay.
Level.
So you cast Divine Smite. As you hit it, you feel it connect, and then you see it's an 8 plus 1. Because it is.
So no, that's not the one plus one's not the.
Isn't I thought?
No, that's a rolling for a D8 and a 10.
Oh, okay. So that's for your damage. Now, what about for your Divine Smite? So he takes 8 damage.
3D.
Okay, so that's 19, and is that including damage? Does that one does damage to undead specifically, right?
It says that's the one. That's the plus 1.
Okay. So at that point, and that is radiant damage, correct?
Actually, not. Oh no, it is radiant. Never mind.
Okay, it is radiant damage. Perfect. So as it can, the reason I make that distinction is because the zombies can come back if it's not radiant damage. But since the radiant damage surges forth, you feel as you're swinging with your blade, it starts to ring like a tuning fork through the air. And as it just eviscerates this zombie, you see it just crumble to ash.
Perfect.
And it is dead.
Well done.
All right, Aurora.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot at this zombie here.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for your attack. That's a 17, does hit. Go ahead and roll for damage. That is 3 piercing damage. Okay. So he takes it. 3. And then you have your second attack. 15 does hit. Roll for damage. 7. All right. So this zombie just got 2 arrows sticking out of him. He looks over in your direction. So
That's
this
me trying to talk back to him.
perfect. So this zombie shambles forward. He is going to make an attack against Tiger Lily here. Gonna slam. That is a 20. Not a natural 20, but just a 20. So that's 4 bludgeoning damage. So he comes down and just whack right off across the top of her brow. Next zombie. He is still on the periphery. He's going to just kind of mill back and forth creepily on the edge. You can kind of see the almost like cat's eyes in the distance as he's looking through his cataracts and creepy eyes. So it hits the end of his turn. Clandon, it's your turn. Tiger Lily on deck.
Alright. Let's see, Tiger Lily doesn't block my shot at all, does she?
He's a zombie standing up. She's a panther.
Yeah.
Maybe half.
Half.
Half, yeah. But like his lower half of his body is probably covered, so I'd consider kind of covered. You could shoot him.
Okay.
The other zombies are not inhibiting though. They're dead. They're on the ground.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right, then I'm gonna let Planet Warrior dissipate and just go with a good old classic attack on that zombie that just hit Tiger Lily. I didn't like that.
Okay. 17 hits. Roll for damage. 11 piercing damage. +1. So that's 12 piercing damage. So he swings and he hits, and you shoot him, and he kind of knocks him back with the impact of the blow. Go ahead and roll for your second attack. 16 hits. Roll for damage. 10 piercing damage. All right. So you see, and is that +1?
Yep.
Okay, so that's 11. So you see as he, as it kind of knocks him for the second time, he kind of falls back and falters. He only rolls a 10, so he does not come back from his Constitution saving throw. And you see as just this acrid last breath and falls to the ground, lifeless.
Nice.
Lifeless. Undead.
Undead. Venfina, how are you doing? How much health do you have?
Horrible.
She's like, I don't know what to do.
You had to put it into
I
a
will
point.
survive.
How many points would you say you have?
I got 10.
As a bonus action, I'm gonna move my Spirit Hawk over to Aurora.
Okay, so it moves. It is in her space. 4 hit points.
So Aurora gets 4
All right.
hit points.
This other zombie is going to shamble forward, and he's going to make an attack at Roland. Seeing that he was
Go ahead.
the source of 7, it doesn't hit. So he's again. These guys are just throwing themselves at you, one after the other, trying to end this blight that their compatriots have suffered. Tiger Lily, it's your turn. She now has a zombie behind her. Venfina's on deck. Okay, so she claws. 12 does hit, and that's for 6 slashing damage. Alright.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hit that twice.
That's okay. We'll just take the first one. Okay, so she slashes. And does she want to take any movement?
No, she was just getting the guy behind her.
Okay, perfect. Benfina, it's your turn. Roland on deck.
Okay, I'm gonna attack the zombie right there.
Okay. Is this with your glaive or what are you?
Yeah, I'm just gonna poke him.
So you rush forward with your glaive and your shield. You slash. Go ahead and roll for your attack.
Hey.
Does just hits. So he starts to move out of the way, but you somehow are like you push it into his rib anyway. You hear a sickening splurging sound as his acrid blood starts to gout from his side. Divination by
I
entrails.
stab him again.
You didn't do your attack or your damage. But you can go ahead and attack again.
Oh.
Roll your damage first, though.
Nice.
7 damage. All right, so he takes 7 damage.
That clearly looks like an 8 to me. Does
So-
she have a negative 1 in that?
Before,
Yeah, I do.
before, as you stab and you hit, you see him kind of stumble and like start to go limp in lifeless before you. He does not make it, and so as you go to stab him again, he just kind of falls back onto the ground, dead as a doornail.
Oh, so I didn't have to attack him twice.
Nope. All right, so they're dead. You currently have 1 additional attack and a your movement still that you can use. Let me get this thing off you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go over to these other zombies up here.
Okay. So if you go up
Do I
there,
have to go hopping over that? Is it like low enough?
you'd
that I
either need to
could-
jump over it or get under it. It's bellows. So where you're standing, it goes down to a point. So the bellows is a large cylinder that's probably about 3 feet off the ground. So you have to vault it to get over to the other side.
Okay, can I just come up close and then poke him from across?
You can try and stab underneath or stab over. Yeah, you can try it.
Yeah, I wanna
They're
do
gonna
it.
have. I don't think cover matters for melee. So. Right?
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think it does. So you should just make your attack normally.
Or I
Hit him in
guess I
the
could use my crossbow.
I'll
use...
Get its foot.
If you use your crossbow, it will be.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah, I
Disadvantage.
should have done it when I was further
I'll
away.
use my-
Anyway, I'll use my glaive.
Okay, so you stab underneath. Go ahead and roll for damage. Or your attack. That is an 8. Does hit. Roll for damage.
Oh, good. I was gonna say roll for advantage because they're prone, but apparently
That
eight's
too.
enough.
Ooh,
That too.
maybe-
Roll for advantage anyway. See if you
Okay.
get a natural 20.
Oh!
Natural 20! Woo! Well done. Well done.
Nice.
So that's going to be, instead, I'll take the second damage on it. So that's going to be 7, 8, 9. 9.
Craziest.
Oops. Hold on. -9. And the effects of the turn undead on this particular zombie ends. Alright, zombie behind. He can't move quick. He can't move closer, so he's gonna kind of stalk back and forth. Let's see, what's the distance right
Oh, is
now?
he still prone? Yeah.
35 feet. So he can get in range of Venfina. So he's gonna kind of crawl up underneath, and you're gonna feel a slam attack from underneath. But he is prone, so it's gonna be a
Can't take
disadvantage.
any action other than dash or dodge. That's part of turn undead.
What about ducking?
What about when he gets out of range? I thought when he get out of
Even
range.
it's for a full minute or until he takes damage, he cannot take any action other than dashing or dodging.
Okay, so even so they need to escape the 30-foot range of you, and at that point it's still in effect that they cannot do anything. Right?
Yep.
Okay. So he's just gonna kind of stalk back and forth and look at you angrily.
Good.
But he will not attack.
How long does that
Yes,
still
Dave.
last on them?
Roland's turn.
It's 1 minute, so 10 rounds.
Holy cow.
All right, so I'm gonna move up. Let's see here.
Aurora's on deck.
Actually, I'm going to turn to. I'm going to turn to Aurora really quick, and I'm going to be like, "Are you good on healing, or do you need some more aid?"
I have 11 of 20 ish.
Okay, I'm gonna go make sure Venfina doesn't get in over her head, because you have other healing spells for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got 30 feet of movement. I can move right up to Venfina.
Okay.
And
As-
then I'm going to. Yeah, as I get closer, I'm sure the
He kind of
one-turn zombie is.
Curdles. He's.
And then I will just plant one of my hands on Venfina's shoulder and lay on hands for we'll just use 10 of mine.
Okay.
So 10 hit points to Venfina.
All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's a full turn.
All right, Aurora, you're up.
You get 6 health.
I did.
Did you move the thing last turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
It was just hanging out
Yeah,
over.
it was on her last turn.
Okay, it was just hanging out over here. So.
Got it.
All right.
I am.
Daddy shark.
Okay, I need to climb over all of these bodies.
Yes.
How much to get me to? Let's say here.
Just use your normal movement. I'm not gonna count it as on whatever terrain. You could just use your normal movement.
All right, then I am going to attack this guy right here.
Okay. Go ahead and shoot. You ignore cover because you are a sharpshooter, and you can either shoot normally or use your sharpshooter shot. That is a 13. Does hit. Roll for damage. 10 piercing damage does hit, and then the effect of the fades. That's minus 10. 13 hits. Roll for damage. That's 3. So the 2 shots. He's
Is her
kind of
bow
hiding right
plus
there.
1?
It is +1, so that's an additional 2 damage. So that's going to be 15 total. Okay, so you see as you fire 2 arrows, this zombie that was previously looking at Roland with just pure hate in its eyes, kind of turns and looks. Slam now is going to happen at Venfina's feet with disadvantage because he is prone. He swings. 6 does not hit. So he's just kind of clawing at your feet, and from there, it's Clandon's turn.
All right.
Tiger Lily on deck.
Okay, as my bonus action, I'm going to move my Spirit Hawk over to Tiger Lily.
Okay. You move it in. Okay.
Just 3 health.
Oh wait, I put it on the hawk. Hold on. There you go. Got it.
And then, let's see, how far can I move? I'm gonna move here to get a, wow, whoa, I didn't notice that water wheel. I do recall it being described.
Okay, so you start seeing this. You see the bellows. From that particular position, you'd be hard pressed to hit those zombies.
I'm gonna go the rest of my movement just in front of Aurora.
Okay.
Sir.
So now you can see them. They do have right now. They're having half cover from this bellows above them, but they are
So
laying
is that-
prone. So just shoot it. They're prone essentially. So just it's disadvantage either way.
Okay, so
Unless
shoot at
you-
a disadvantage.
Yes, unless you want to use inspiration, you can negate that.
No.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack. So 19 does hit. Roll for damage. That's a 9.
10.
10, so minus 10. So this first zombie, are you hitting the one up to the north or the south?
Yep.
Okay, so the one to the north, you hit it, and as you hit it, you see it kind of waver and quiver and expel finally its last breath as just the rest of the secretions that were in its body drip from its mouth onto the floor. It is dead.
Do I have an angle on that other one?
You could shoot the other one. Same deal. It's just gonna be disadvantage.
Ah.
So, roll me. I'm gonna roll a d20. Anything above a 10 hits Venfina. Anything below it does not. That's a 12. It does not hit. So the arrow flies, but the arrow is destroyed as it hits this hard metal tube coming off of the bellows itself. So you see it hit, and it just shatters. As whatever this is made of is harder than that
Roger
arrow.
that. And that's it for me.
Yep. Tiger Lily, go ahead and roll your healing. And we're almost done, guys, so bear with it. So we got 2 additional healing. +2.
Let's get these zombies killed.
Yeah.
Bring
This
them down.
zombie. This
Yeah,
singular. Zombie.
singular.
Uno zombino.
Can she run and jump over, or he's laying down on the ground, right?
You're referring to the zombie?
Yes.
Yes, the zombie is prone. With your sharpshooting, you could step to the other side of Clandon.
Is Tiger Lily?
Oh, Tiger Lily. I'm sorry. It is prone. You would have to move. She would have to. Basically, it's kind of like rough terrain, half movement when you try and go up under the bellows. If you're going over the bellows, she could do an athletics check if she wanted to do that and see if she can jump over it. She's a large cat. I don't see why she shouldn't be able to.
Go for it.
What's her move?
Athletics would be speed is 50.
Yes, she can reach. She would be able to reach. Roll athletics is going to be strength, I believe. Let me make sure. Athletics is strength, yes. So take that plus her strength modifier, so that it's that includes it. So 12. Yeah, that makes it. So she's able to bound up onto the bellows, and then she's poised to pounce on the guy on the ground.
Yeah, Hawk doesn't move.
Yeah, I clicked the wrong one. So she goes ahead and roll her attack. And then I believe it is a D12. So that's the attack for the claw. Attack hits. So that's 6. Go ahead and roll your bite attack as a bonus action as well. I'm going to move her over just a little bit so I can get to him. That's going to be, and he's already prone, so I'll make a no, he's already prone. So you get both of them, so that's the natural one doesn't hit, but the other one does, so that's -6. 9, 6, 15.
Would it be a natural 1 or would it be a 5?
Because it's a natural one, it's a critical failure, regardless of what her strength modifier is. But yeah, so either way, it wouldn't have hit. So she's not able. She kind of paws at him, and it doesn't take effect. She kind of pulls back a little bit while he's still intent on Venfina's ankles. Venfina, not at her desk.
Gotta go kid wrangling.
No.
We're almost done. One more. Then we'll be done, I promise.
Alright, I'm gonna glaive that one in front of me.
Okay, go ahead and glaive it. And glaive it good. Alright, so 12. It does hit. Roll for damage. Ooh.
A 1.
a 2 and a 1.
Can I use initiative to reroll my damage?
Initiative.
I'm sorry. Inspiration.
Oh yeah, I was like, why'd you use initiative? To reroll your damage? No, I believe it's for ability checks.
Okay.
Alright. And then for my second attack, I'd like to use my... I'll use my glaive again.
Second roll.
To glaive or not?
Confirm. If you have inspiration, you can expend it when you make an attack roll, saving roll, or ability check. So you can use it for your attack roll.
Okay, but not
Spending your
for my
inspiration
damage.
gives you advantage on that roll. Additionally, if you have inspiration, you can reward another player for good role playing. Blah blah blah. But yeah, it says if you have inspiration, you can expend it when you make an attack roll, saving roll, or ability check. So it's not for damage, but for the attack roll itself, you could roll higher if you.
Yeah, that's not what I worried about.
But
Okay.
not damage.
Did I do anything to him with that hit?
With the 1 damage, you poked him. So you see, like, as you're kind of stabbing at him, he kind of pulls back a little bit, and the tip of your glaive presses into his eye, and a little bit of eye juice oozes out. But then when you pull back,
Okay. Well, then I go for another glaive hit.
okay, go ahead and roll for your attack. Roland, you're up next. 7 does not hit. In this case, you could
use
use...
inspiration.
Okay, so roll again. 18 does hit. Roll for damage. 8. All right. -8. So at this point, you see, you kind of stabbed him, and he kind of looked at you, and one of his eyes isn't working quite right. So the other one, you stab him in the other eye, and he sputters for a second. Constitution.
Just die already!
Constitution of a 21, so that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's he does succeed. So you push it into his other eye. He's now blind, apparently, and but he's kind of like scraping around, and he kind of.
And he's still prone?
He is still prone, yes.
This is just sad.
Which you would have
Alright.
advantage on things anyway, so.
Alright.
Roland.
Sacred Flame. Again, the torch comes up, and a blast of green flame comes down on it.
Okay, perfect.
He has to make a dex save, and if he does, and I think because he's prone, he's got disadvantage on it.
Okay,
if I'm not
perfect.
mistaken.
That's a 7. So he misses.
Okay. And it deals 2d8.
At least 1 damage, and it incinerates
And
him.
it's radiant. Yeah, it's radiant damage.
So
So
this-
he doesn't get any save.
This is like Raiders of the Lost Ark. You just see it just. It's all he just dies. Well done, well done. All right, and so as you guys are heaving and you're regrouping yourselves, you kind of take your moment to look around the room, and taking in your surroundings a little bit more, with this faint green glow emanating from Roland's torch. You see all the corpses around you, but it is still. You finally find solace in that this room, for the time being, is as cleansed of the undead that once
This
plagued.
house is clean.
Bit of-
Before I forget, I've got 6 turns left on the healing spirit. Can
Okay,
I
go
use-
ahead. You can use those 6
Alright, so
turns.
I'm gonna move it to Vinfina, use 3 on her.
So you feel this hawk come up behind you, and as you feel this breeze, kind of all the burn and singed marks that were once ailing your back, and you feel them start to seal up a bit. 4, that's
Now I'm
8,
gonna
9,
move it
10.
to Aurora for the other 3.
Okay.
Nice.
And as it flies through, Aurora, you see this hawk glide towards you.
5.
Yep, so that's 12. And it hits you in the chest, and you just feel it just kind of go through you and turn into nothingness. But you feel the healing effects wash over you. So, great job, guys. For this, we have... 8, 9,
Yay, I'm full health again.
Woo, woo, woo.
I gotta
That's-
say, man, we come out of some real tough scrapes.
Yeah. Right. That's 112 XP per person for just the zombies. And then for the... Let's pull up Mr. Spectator. Spectator, where'd you go? Spectator. There it is. That is going to be 700 divided by the 4.
Regularly get XP?
No, she gets XP based on Aurora's. So it's 175 per person for the Spectator. And then for the floating skull head of death and burning, it is going to be a whopping 1,100 XP divided by 4.
What
Two-
was the spectator?
The big floating
The
head.
very first one with the eyeballies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we never got it. That's right.
Yep, you never got the XP for that. So that's 275 per person for the flaming skull. That was a challenge rating of 4. It was a level 5 caster. So, you guys, again, you feel this wash over you. Somewhere in a distant offland, you hear the Final Fantasy victory sound. And yeah, all is once again quiet. And so as the epilogue, as this begins to settle, roll real quick for me a perception check, Clandon.
Oh.
17.
Finally!
21. All right. So Clandon, you get this feeling that that you are being watched, and not in the sense of somebody in the room, but you get the distinct feeling and are able to thwart. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom saving throw and tell me. We'll see if you're able to. So 10? Okay, so that's just to see. So you basically are able to, you feel the effects of someone scrying. And you're able to dispel this particular thing as they were trying to look in on you. You don't know what it was, who it was, but you definitely know that something mystical was looking in on your presence. And with that, we're going to end it for this night.
Oh man.
Hey, all right. So good job, everybody. Let's check. I know was it the 27th that you guys said you have conflicts?
I do.
Okay, so 27th is out. What about the 3rd of August?
I should be okay for the 3rd.
Third work? Do we have an accord?
Do we have an accord?
Okay.
We're good for the 3rd.
Becca's going to check the calendar real quick. So thus far, it seems like the 3rd might work. We're going to go... I'll send out a text tonight to Dormorlam. That way we can just at least figure out what's going on. And let them know that we're going to do it on the 3rd. Other announcements, next Thursday is the next time we're going to be playing D&D, so those who are watching, thank you for coming. Everybody survived, so that was really good. I hope you guys had fun.
I didn't get any damage. I'm so
Yeah.
happy.
I know, right?
Well done, guys. Look at
Good
our
job.
health bars, man. Look at those health bars.
Good job.
Wait, Roland, you didn't get any damage?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I
None.
didn't
Nothing hit
get
him.
any damage either.
All those
I got
zombies are wailing at him
scared.
and no damage at all.
I got scared once by the eye guy, and that's it.
So you shat your pants, but you didn't get any damage.
Yes.
On that day.
The only damage is to my pride.
Okay. So we do not have conflicts. I will let Dormorlam know that the 3rd is the next time we're going to be playing. That is August 3rd, 2018. So if you guys want to tune in for that, that's that Friday. Otherwise, every Thursday at 9 p.m. Mountain Time, feel free to jump in. Let me know.
Everyone.
Let me know if anyone has any conflicts. Good job, everyone.
I don't know if we
short.
would have survived that without all these like double attacks.
I know, seriously. Yeah, like I'm reading the.
And we had some good rolls.
This room, the spectator, and the what's the specter? For some reason, I couldn't think of the word. So those 3 were some of the craziest ones that I was really worried about you guys, but you came through okay. But there's lots more crazy ahead. You guys are able to survive it, so good job.
That was fun. Good job, guys.
All right, everybody. Well, signing off. I'm gonna
See
go
ya.
use the restroom. I gotta pee like a racehorse. Peace.
I got